Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out. Uncertainty, self-doubt, stressing about not knowing where to start. In. Plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out. Word art. Sorry, live, laugh, lovers. In. Knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
This week, in Nashville, Michigan, a body found in a ditch on the side of a country road leads to an investigation that unveils a plot that no one could have expected. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another wild, incredible, crazy, downhill, just crazy. It's a snowball is what it is of Small Town Murder. We're very, very excited this week, as always, here. Thank you, first of all, right off the bat. Got to thank everyone for everything you've done for us this week. Your reviews help a lot. Thank you for those. If you haven't done it yet, that purple icon, Apple Podcasts, or even on Stitcher, 5 stars means a lot. We don't know why. Helps drive you up the charts.
Seems to be a thing.
Say something on there. I'm not sure. Whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter. It's not for our ego.
No.
It's just for business purposes. So help us out on that. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. All sorts of stuff. Merchandise up there.
Hell yeah.
Most of all, though, tickets to live shows upcoming. Oh, my goodness. We are coming for you. San Francisco coming up very soon here.
That's next week.
That is next week, the 13th and 14th, Friday and Saturday night late shows there at Cobb's. That's going to be so much fun. And then, of course, a couple weeks later, the 27th and 28th in Detroit, Michigan.
Yes.
And down in Cincinnati. Come see us there. And we are very excited. Then, of course, we'll be in Nashville, Tennessee after that. and we'll see what happened there.
Oh boy,
that's
thoughts
crazy.
with all of you.
Absolutely,
Jesus
what a disaster!
How does that even? I saw the video of it.
Yeah.
Of that tornado. How the fuck does that even? Nature is scary.
Yeah, man, that's scary. And tornadoes are weird because they're mainly only on this continent too. Which is
that right?
Yeah,
nobody else gets them.
It's once in a while, but it's not a common occurrence. Like here, it's tornado season, and they're coming through. Like we'll be in Oklahoma City on May 9th in the middle of tornado season.
They get tornadoes too,
constantly. Tornado season, as a matter of fact, the whole season for it. So
people of Nashville, I'm so sorry. And
definitely,
there's a Jesse Pitts who lives there. He lost his family. It's fucked up, man. That's horrifying stuff, and
absolutely, we're sorry to hear
I have
that.
zero. I'm not good at this.
No, well, that's not really our role.
No,
so
I'm just thinking about you. People.
Yeah, that's right. We'll tell dick jokes and try to cheer you up. Outside of that, we don't have much else that we can really do for you. But thanks for listening, and hopefully everybody's okay over there. And we'll come check you guys out in April. And
see you there.
See you there, everybody. Definitely.
4 weeks. Get the place back together, would you?
Absolutely. Yeah, come on. Put everything back together for us nicely. Let's go. Get those hammers out. Get J.J. Watt up there.
Hell yeah.
We'll get into something. So
he's really good at Houston.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, thank you guys for everything you do for us. Also, if you want to be one of our producers, very, very easy to do. You can do that by going to patreon.com/crime and sports, or head over to PayPal and use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. And of course, as we know, every couple weeks we do the bonus episodes here. So that'll be out next week. We'll do another bonus episode. Absolutely. So with that said, disclaimer time. It's a comedy show.
Yeah.
It's a comedy podcast. Man, that's what it is. We're going to have a good time here. We're going to talk about murder. That's going to happen. People are going to get killed. But when you talk about a murder story, the great thing about a murder story is, if there is anything great about it, but the reason why you can do comedy is because a murder story is 1% murder and 99% crazy stuff that leads people to think they can get away with murder. That's a crazy thought. Think about the things that lead up to that. There's some funny shit in there, and that's what we're going to concentrate on here. Things like that. What we go out of our way to try not to do is to make fun of the victims or the victim's family. We don't want to do that because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about. So with that said, sit back, have a good time. For you guys who don't think that true crime and murder and comedy just don't ever go together, you shouldn't listen to the show. Please don't listen, then complain later, because we're telling you what it is. We're telling you what it is. Stop.
You know better. You're a grown-up.
It's a true story. We're going to try to inject some humor so it's a little less depressing. We don't want to hear, and then their head was severed from the shoulders. That's a little heavy for us. So we try to, minimize that stuff and maximize the fun stuff. So that's what we're going to do here. And with that said, everyone that wants to have a good time, I think it's time to sit back and shout, Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmy.
Okay.
Let's go on a trip.
Let's do it.
Let's get out of Missouri.
Yeah.
We were in Missouri last week.
It's sticky.
It was weird. That was a weird place.
There's always a buzz in the air.
Yeah, weird place, weird crime.
Yeah.
Small town.
Yeah.
That was like... that was a variety though. Last week we had that we had that small town. He was a small town police chief, so we really thought he was hot shit, and they were kind of like a bunch of respectable people and all that. This week we have the opposite.
Okay.
This week we have just a family that lives on one. There's vans and trailers, and it's one property, and it's all sorts of a mess. It's a different thing this week completely. A little more hillbilly going on.
Terrific.
This week, panhandlery, if you will. We're going all the way to Michigan, Nashville, Michigan. Which we didn't do that because Nashville and literally just
lined up.
This was in my schedule of episodes I had scheduled that happens to be Nashville, Michigan.
Weird.
In this area too, they have Charlotte, they have Vermontville. There's a bunch of everything's named after something else around
bizarre.
here. Very weird. South Central Michigan, right in the kind of the middle there. But Michigan is just a bunch of panhandles. It's just shooting out in every direction. So you take from that what you will.
It's going to be a mess.
It's going to be a mess. About 2 hours over to Detroit, down to the southeast, about 3 hours over to Chicago if you go to the southwest, and 8 hours to Nashville, Tennessee. We need to check on that.
Okay.
The far part of the Nashvilles. This is in Barry County, Barry. Like white, exactly. 49073 is the area code, or the zip code. 517 is the area code. 2.2 square miles. Little town.
Okay.
It's a bunch of little towns inside of a bigger township type thing.
Got it.
And there's a bunch of townships, but it's so rural around this area. It's very spread out that they're all very separate. They're their own thing here. Now, the history of this town, to get into it a little bit here, we'll go quickly over the history. The initial plat of Nashville was purchased by a guy named John R. Pettibone, which sounds like an old-timey name.
Yeah.
That does not sound like anyone now.
Right.
If you met a guy and he said John R. Pettibone, you'd be like, really? Is that made up? Are you a character in a play or something?
Like T. Boone Pickens.
Yeah, are you a play villain?
Yeah.
Do you have like twisting your mustache and flipping a nickel? Like, what's going on here?
Kind of anything is weird.
Yeah, Pettibone, but it sounds almost fake.
Yeah.
This was in 1836 here. In 1865, by then someone else owned the land, and they platted out 127 lots. It's on the south side of the Thornapple River. Very exciting stuff there. They surveyed it out and did all that sort of shit here. And people started purchasing large swaths of land. And one of the guys here, Solomon, this guy, what's his name? I don't know his first name. Solomon.
Last name is Solomon?
Last name is Solomon.
Okay.
It's Harry. Solomon Fainer is his name.
Oh.
Solomon's his first name.
Okay.
Solomon Fainer here, he managed to get the sawmill up and running in about 1865, and then sold it off there. And as we know, all these towns, sawmill's a big deal. Then they bring in the grist mill.
Yeah.
Once there's a grist mill, forget about it.
Booming, babe.
You might, at that point, you might as well build like a big theater downtown and a town hall.
Yeah.
You've arrived.
Right.
There's a grist mill. We have grist. Oh, I'll commence construction, everyone.
So much grist.
There's grist now here. So, it was just basically the town was kind of centered around this grain elevator and shit like that they had. In 1873, they built a grain elevator alongside the railroad, I guess. Yeah. And that made it so you could, I guess, haul grain
and
easier and hold it and elevate it.
Build it up.
You could build it up and elevate it. It's like everything on the Food Network. Right. They were elevating their grain. They had grain, but they elevated. They put caramelized onions on it, and they did a little this and some truffle oil, and it's elevated now. That's how it works.
In the 1800s.
That's how you elevate things.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah. So then in 1916, the flour mill, flour was sold. They had a flour mill. It was sold as Red Eye Flour, it was called, which sounds like it's going to wake you up. Yeah. That's a weird name for flour.
You don't want to be. That's always a
What's
bad
in this
thing.
flour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red eyes is not good.
Have you had some kind of like red eye? I mean, it's going to wake you up. Like the red eye blend of coffee would be like, you're real tired and this will kick you in the balls, I would imagine.
That tells me you're doing this when everybody else is sleeping.
And you're exhausted.
Yeah,
like a flight.
This sucks.
Yeah.
This is horse shit.
That's what I'm saying.
You're only doing this because you're a cheap fuck. That's what this is.
That's exactly what's going on here. Now,
I fly a lot of red eyes.
That's what happens. They're the worst.
It's awful.
1869, they still didn't have a name for the town. They just it's just the town with a grist mill.
A couple of mills.
It's fine.
Some elevated
who
shit.
knows? And then somebody said, hey, we should have a name for this. And a guy named Garudius Nash suggested that his name be used. What about my name?
What about me?
So they said,
I'm amazing.
Hey, what about Garrotis Town? And they said, how about Nashville? Okay, it's a compromise. So Village of Nashville was there. Nashville was used as a halfway stopping point between the Jackson and Grand Rapids Railroad terminals. By the way, Jackson was our last Michigan episode.
No kidding.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's right. And it was a shithole.
Oh yeah. Total
boy.
Shithole. There's a lot of shitholes in Michigan, I've noticed.
That's the single most texted to me episode about how fucking dead on we were. And you know
when we went to Detroit, everyone was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, was that accurate? Holy shit, it was the worst."
You could have gone harder because it's way worse.
They're like, I won't even stop for gas in that town. People literally were like, I won't slow down around there. I'll blow right through a red light.
I've never gotten more messages.
It's crazy. So prior to 1920, they used to have to stop in Hastings, these trains. They do overnights, and they required a hostler to tend the locomotives. A hostler is a, quote, person who takes care of horses, especially at an inn, or an employee who moves and services trains, buses, or other vehicles after they do maintenance work. Like that comes in and does
water my train
overnight. Water my train and make sure it gets its oats and
feed it some of that elevated grain.
That's elevated. And make sure you get the truffle oil on there. Now, I have some reviews of this town. It just sounds like there's not a lot going on here. This is a 3-star review, 3 out of 5. So, average. Quote, there are no big businesses in my town, but some of the mom and pop shops have not the best service. The restaurants are good quality. The best in town is Shirley's Chuck Wagon and R&D's Street Side Pizzeria. Shirley's Chuck Wagon.
Gross.
Essentially, she flings it at you from a spatula. Here you go, and throws it at you. You got to catch it on your plate or eat it off the wall.
Sounds like a food truck, but not just like a food truck. Like she converted her Suburban.
And now it's pulled by fucking horses or something.
It's a chuck wagon.
Shit's all over. We have a grocery store, the only one between Nashville and Vermontville, and they have okay prices. The people in the grocery store are very polite. Okay. That's the 3 stars. It would have been 2, but those polite grocery store employees took them over the top.
Hire those people at the mom and pop stores.
That's what I'm saying. Here's a 2-star review. As a former resident of Nashville, Michigan, I would never recommend that anyone travels or goes there unless you want some ice cream from the best creamery in Michigan, as we'll talk about that, by the way. They have an amazing ice cream place up there, which okay with me.
I'm in.
It's Mooville ice cream.
Oh, yes.
Mooville ice cream and milk is the best I have encountered anywhere. I have lived in many different states and countries since leaving Nashville. I tried many different brands of ice cream and milk, but none compared to Mooville's. It's the only bright spot in a rundown town.
Hell yeah.
So just ice cream.
Ice cream pun on a Dr. Seuss line? That's great.
Rock it right out, fella. And then 2 stars here. Quote, there are not many jobs available, but when there are job openings, it seems to take a long time for them to get back to the applicant. Well, I mean, if you want to put on a happy face, you should apply at the grocery store. If you're polite enough, I feel like they'll take you.
And you know what? Maybe they're giving you the opportunity to run down your own leads and come back and be like, what do you think?
You need to check up on them. It takes a long time. Maybe you need to,
I still want that job.
I applied for that job. Any word? Yeah. There you go.
Walk outside from that interview, turn around and walk back in. What'd you think of that?
A little follow-up. Let's go here.
Give a shit, sir.
Give a shit about your goddamn career. You piece of shit.
Give me serving some of that strawberry spackle over at Mooville.
Lazy 2-star asshole.
That's the guy that moved out?
No, this is another guy. He's apparently an unemployed fella looking for some work, and
he's furious.
It's taken a while. Yeah. So he has taken to the internet to complain about it on a site about town statistics. He's like, it takes a while for them to get back to you. There you go. He felt better, but then the job wouldn't see that he complained.
Right.
So people in this town, Jesus Christ,
really relieved his grievance.
Yeah, he's like, man, I feel better now. You know what, honey? I feel closure coming upon me. It's all right. I'm gonna get some.
Would you check that man's name off my list, please?
One more time.
I feel better.
One more time. Yeah, do that. Any messages? All right. Post. Do I have any voice? Click. Okay, I'll post it. You never know. I don't want to post it and have it be unfair. You know what I'm saying?
Have egg on my face.
I mean, come on now. It looks stupid. Be hired with that on the internet and take it down.
I have red face.
Boy, you know how it goes. They're going to cancel me down at the grocery store. So,
oh boy.
People in this town, 1,719.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty small town, and it's stayed pretty consistent for about 100 years in terms of population. It's up 4% since 1990.
Wow.
So in 30 years, it's not changed much.
Nobody going, nobody coming.
That's right. Male, female, about this on point, about 51% female. Median age here is about 34, so it's a little bit lower than average. Average is almost 38. A lot of 5 to 14-year-old kids. Okay. Tons of that. Yeah. Those demographics are spiked high, so that would be the reason for that. Married, it's just about this, usually 50-50 here. It's about 48%, so pretty close to on the money there. Race in this town, 90% white, so pretty white. 0.0% black.
Really?
0.0. That's a lot.
2 hours 17 from Detroit?
2 hours from Detroit, 3 hours from Chicago. Not one black person among 1,700. That like I've said it before and I'll say it again. That shit sounds on purpose. I don't know. Yeah, on either side.
Yeah.
Maybe black people are like, nah,
not for me.
Driving by, I don't think so. Keep going, or it's a conscious effort to keep them out. I'm not sure. 0.1% Asian.
Okay.
Very few. They're 3.3% Hispanic. So it's very white here. Only 23% religious, which is not a lot at all. It's usually 50% in the country, and they're spread around pretty equally. A couple Catholics, few Methodists, a lot of other Christian. No Jewish people, though.
Not a one.
0.0% Jewish. So if a black Jewish man came to this town, it would just blow everyone out of the water. Just shoot the whole demographics to hell.
The whole game.
Whole town there. 0.0% Islam as well. Pretty conservative area in this county because it's a really rural county. It's a lot of woods. Barry County was 30% Democrat, 63% Republican in the last election, 7.2% independent. Being central Michigan, I assume that's whoever the militia ran in that state for on their ballot there. Now, unemployment rate's a little bit higher than normal. It's barely over 4%, so still pretty low, but higher than normal in the rest of the country. Median household income, though, is where things start to get a little squirrely here. Rest of the country, it's almost $58,000. Right. Here it is not quite $35,000.
$34,000 some change.
$34,000 and change here, which is 44% of the people make under $30,000 a year.
Oh, my God.
That is a lot.
That's so scary.
That's a lot. Very few people make over $150,000 too. God. So the people who are making a living, it's not there. It's a middle class. It's a
middle. Fuck.
Well, yeah, it's a 2 paychecks from being fucked survival life. One paycheck even. Yeah.
That's a half a paycheck from.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's
cleaning your gun.
Yeah,
that is crazy, man.
That's a lot. Yeah, it's
I can't believe that exists in our country.
Precarious area. Not only that, though, the jobs here, most of the jobs are in manufacturing. Not most of them, but usually it's about 10% manufacturing. Here it's over 30%. It's 31%, which those jobs tend to come and go as far as economic times go too. Yeah. So, that's
and as technology changes.
That's the thing is if one, and in these small towns, 1 or 2 places will employ a big chunk of the town, and if one of them shuts down, now that town is screwed. So
remember that toaster town?
Yeah, we've so many of these towns we've seen it. Then the toaster factory closed, and everybody's hard time since then.
Goddamn microwave was invented, this whole town goes away.
About it. God damn it, we need a toast, more toast, everyone, for the love of God. Where's the toast?
And the Midwest, God love them, are the most manufacturing motherfuckers on this planet.
Oh, yeah, they'd love to build. They'd love to make something.
Holy shit,
they want to make something. Damn it, yeah, absolutely. Nashville cost of living here, 100 is average, regular par. Cost of living here is about 84, and the low thing is housing. Housing is low, 46 out of 100 for housing. Median home cost $107,000, which is very, very low. But there's not really a lot of houses available.
Really?
That's just what the old houses are worth because it's the average worth. 55% of the houses were built before 1939.
Yeah, so people are just dying and then somebody else moves into it.
Yeah, the average in the rest of the country is 15%.
Wow.
So it's the average home age here is 78. The average home is almost 80 years old in this place.
Holy shit.
80 years of winters, Michigan winters. And so it's a kind of a rundown area. A lot of them are there's, what is this? About 70% of the houses are worth under $100,000. Yeah. So that tells you a lot right there.
My stepdad's family had a house that they lived in like a shit area of Arizona, Queen Creek. It's like Hillbillyville.
Yeah.
But
especially back.
Oh my God.
10 years ago, there was nothing out there.
90s, late 80s,
desert.
Forget it. Disgusting.
Just desert.
It was a house that it was somewhere else. It was it's not a mobile home, but it was moved, and it was on cinder blocks. And I remember
by definition, it's a mobile home now. So they just took a house, ripped it off the foundation,
put it on a trailer, and moved it somewhere else. Put it on cinder blocks, and I still to this day remember the smell of that fucking place. And every time I get close to that smell, it gives me a fucking cringe because I remember how it's that old of a house, dude. Is such it's a very specific smell. If you walk into like a super old house that's not been taken care of, that's dilapidated.
Yeah, I was say my house, the house I live in now is old. It's an old house,
but it doesn't smell like that.
It doesn't smell like that.
No, because this has been taken care of.
Been renovated.
When they don't get taken care of, that smell it's permeated. Though every piece of that house is stuck with that smell, and you know it. And I've probably been in 30 houses that were around that age.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's a weird mold, smoke, kind of a strange.
It's just lived in for fucking years.
It's just in the drywall,
and you can't get rid of that.
You could wring out the drywall. And gross juice would come out.
You can't Febreze that shit out. No, it's just there.
It's in the base of the bones of the house.
It's all in these houses. I guarantee it.
It's like if you have tumors spread to your bones or something. It's like, well,
it's it.
It's it. So
it's just worn out.
Well, you know what? With that said, if nothing else would, I'm sure that convinced you to go to Nashville, Michigan. We have for you the Nashville, Michigan Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $900 a month, which seems high compared to what the housing is. You have houses that are worth $80,000. You shouldn't pay $900 a month for it.
Why?
That's a little excessive. So I found a bargain here. Yeah. Foreclosure. Oh. Somebody's misery can be your pleasure. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,300 square foot. Decent house, pretty nice. $45,200.
Oh my god!
I mean foreclosure, but
that
still
is thousands of feet.
That's
of work.
A lot. Yeah. Oh, there's so much work there.
Oh my god!
3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,622 square feet. Decent family home here. $145,000. Okay, that's reasonable. And then if you want to just stretch out, there's no like big giant nice houses really in this town available. So I found a 181-acre lot.
Wow!
So that you could just do whatever you want. That's
How much is it?
Huge chunk of Michigan, $749,900
for how many acres?
181 acres.
Pretty kick-ass.
It's pretty cheap. Yeah. That's very cheap. So
it's all Michigan though.
It's
so snowy.
It's cold, and you're buying the woods.
Right.
I've bought a lot of snowy woods.
I own a lot of creek.
There's that. I'm sure there's a bunch of them in there. I don't know, 181 acres.
That's a lot of acres.
How do you even figure out where that starts and ends? You know what I mean? What
you
do
have to pay somebody to go survey that and tell you where your property is.
Where it is. I don't fucking know. When are you going to find the end of that?
It's not like I'm going to mow all that.
That's what I'm saying. I was just going to say, it's not like you're going to mow and hit a little flag at the end. Oh, there it is. I hit the corner. Back this way. Back toward Old Man Peterson's property or whatever. Like, that's not what you're going to do. It's 181 acres.
My aunt has a shitload of acreage in upstate New York.
What do you do? Build developments? Otherwise,
we just walked until your feet started sinking, and they were like, "I guess that's the end."
Yes, so you don't want that anymore.
I don't want to have my socks dirty.
Jesus. So, things to do here. I found quickly. There's not a lot of details about it, but the Barry County Brew Fest. Okay. So they're just going to get shit faced in Michigan. Then I found the nearby Vermontville, which is the next town over. Vermontville Maple Syrup Festival.
What?
You're not actually Vermont.
No.
You know that, right? Like, you can pretend you're Vermont, but to have a maple syrup festival and everything's a little much.
Is there a bunch of maple trees in Michigan? I guess.
It says on the Vermontville is the granddaddy of them all.
Oh.
Okay. Of all what? We are the home of the original maple syrup festival in Michigan.
Right.
Okay.
They just import a bunch of log cabin.
Apparently so. Mrs. Butterworth. We have for you today Mrs. Butterworth. There she is, folks. Hi, everybody. She comes out waving. Okay.
We got her.
Oh, no. Hold on. They're choppering in. The chopper's landing right. Choppering in right, everybody. It's Aunt Jemima, everybody. Aunt Jemima. Oh, here she is making a rare appearance. Oh, my goodness. She's been an agoraphobic for the last 12 years. No one's seen her. She's like Richard Simmons, just in her house.
And we are going to... Here's the chopper is lowering the octagon that the two of them will fight in.
It's going to be
for the champion of the Maple Syrup Festival.
There's no winner until someone's throat is slit and syrup is poured out on the mat. That's how it goes.
We will dip pancakes and waffles into the into the spoils pile. What are you going after?
The defeated, the vanquished foe will be sopped up with a nice French toast. So, Vermontville, the festival starts on a Friday, goes through Saturday and Sunday. It's always held during the last full weekend in April. Something for everyone to do is what they're touting. Mid-America Rides. I don't know what that is. Mid-America Rides? You just shout racist shit at black people out of the side? I don't know. No. Midwesterners aren't very racist, by the way. We're being
very nice.
Yeah, they're very nice people.
Welcoming.
I don't know what that is. They just wave at people and give them things. Hi. A talent show. That's vague. Arts and crafts. Flea market. 2 parades. Yeah. Oh, shit, 2. A petting zoo. A princess pageant. Various games. Free entertainment. A pancake derby.
Oh, right.
See who's got the fastest pancakes around.
You crash your pancake into another one?
Throw it at people. And arm wrestling.
Fuck yes.
What if I said there's one more event, Jimmy, guess what it is? How many guesses would it take before you got to arm wrestling?
Never.
Oh, there's a princess pageant, a petting zoo, and a pancake derby? When's the arm wrestling? I want to slam somebody into the fucking mat.
I would have gone with
I'll rip your shit arm off. Let's do this.
I'd have gone with truck pull or something.
Anything
before
wrestling.
That.
So friggin' weird. They'll be selling syrup, candies, and maple syrup cotton candy, which sounds disgusting.
Gross.
That sounds disgusting.
Why would anybody want that?
I don't know.
Why is that in demand?
I can't fucking imagine what they were doing. Now, a few years ago, the other thing to do would be make a sundae, because a few years ago, the Mouville Creamery set a Guinness World Record for the longest sundae ever. It was a 3,656-foot long sundae.
What does that mean, though?
It was a table that was 3,600 feet long.
Is that just...
It was a continuous sundae.
But what's a sundae? Is that just like a scoop of ice cream, and then you just...
And then stuff on it, too, as we'll talk about. The previous record was held by the House of Flavors in Ludington, Michigan, which did a 2,970-foot long dessert, and that made the Mouville Creamery go... Pussies. Fucking amateurs.
Is that all you got?
Bring out the long table. We're going to get this record.
How big was this thing? 3,600?
3,656
fucking
feet.
Crushed them by 700 feet?
They did 3 months later, too. They're like, we could fucking do this. The Mouville Creamery manager, Tina Westendorp, said, quote, "We saw Ludington's and said there was no way we could pull this off. And then a group of us wanted to refurbish the town and get Nashville on the map. So we thought of doing the longest ice cream sundae, because Nashville's kind of known for its ice cream." Okay.
That's disgusting.
It ended up weighing over 5,400 pounds, contained 864 gallons of ice cream, 36 gallons of chocolate syrup, 56 gallons of strawberries, 172 cans of whipped cream, and 7,200 cherries.
Yeah.
That's a shitload of ice cream.
But what are the rest of y'all going to eat?
One guy.
Yeah.
This looks pretty good. Jesus.
They all have the same.
Yeah. What she's having.
There's a movie, I forget what it's called. It's an old biker movie that's like a spoof movie.
Yeah.
And there's the lead biker sits down at the table and orders, like, he's ordering for everybody at the table. He orders like 55 things or whatever.
Yeah,
and then the guy looks at the fattest guy at the table. He goes, "How's that sound?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'll have the same."
Yeah, what is that?
I forget. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly. Yeah, I remember.
I forget the name of the movie.
70s or 80s.
80s. It's definitely a late 80s, early 90s movie.
It's an old movie.
And it's kind of a dumb movie.
Yeah, it's nothing special.
It's fucking stupid as shit is what it is.
Not a cornerstone of comedy or anything.
No.
It's just some dumb movie that you see on HBO on a Tuesday. But that fat man
saying that shit, because he looked like my stepdad, so when he said, "I'll have the same," I was like, that's what my stepdad was saying.
Yeah,
He's a big fat dummy.
And he makes dumb jokes.
It felt good inside me.
Yeah, that's good. Warmed you?
Yeah. It was like the guy on the reviews where that was like my personal victory. I was like, you tell him, fatso.
Yeah, that's right, damn it. So crime rate in this town, property crime is about 1/3 under the national average. So it's a little low here. But which usually we've had recently, at least, it's usually like if property crime's about half, then violent crime will be about half. But here, this is so it's about 1/3 under the national average for property. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is almost double the national average.
Wow.
So not stealing so much, but they will kill your ass in a heartbeat if you go for an extra scoop of fucking sundae. There's enough to go around.
Yeah.
Okay? We don't have to get
3,600 feet of this shit.
We don't have to get aggressive with our spoons here. Calm down, everybody.
That is over a half a mile, James.
Of sundae.
One.
That sounds awesome.
Wow.
I just want to go to town.
What do you put it in? Is it like one continuous
I would
dish?
think like a big paper thing. Like big paper like those, but then it would leak everywhere.
Right.
Either way, that's a fucking mess. Imagine the flies and the ants in September in Michigan. It had to be. Who cleaned that sticky shit
That would
up?
take forever to make, and then it'd be, melted by the time you're done with it.
Plus, by the time you got to how many people were scooping out ice cream? Right. I have so many. You know what? Screw this murder case.
Yeah.
I was going to say, let's talk about a murder. Let's talk more about this ice cream. We're going to do an 1.5 hour investigation on how the fuck this sundae was made.
Mouville, we got questions.
And then we'll tell you that somebody died and someone's in jail now at the end. It'll take like 5 minutes. P.S. Somebody died once. They're in jail now. By the way, the strawberries and Michigan-grown cherries they use are delicious. They were made sure to say they're Michigan-grown cherries.
Right.
So always going to be better. Specific. But speaking of all this, let's talk about a murder.
Great.
Let's do this, shall we? Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over,
dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with SimpliSafe proactive security system. SimpliSafe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want SimpliSafe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Okay, let's do it here. Let's go back to 1985. Okay, so we're talking rural Michigan, 1985.
Shit, yeah.
Let's take it back in time, spinning clocks, all that shit. Okay, it's we're on a road called Bevins Road. Mm-hmm. It's a road that it's got two paths that kind of just cut through this rural area between Nashville and kind of to the west of Nashville. It's kind of outside of Nashville, this area, but Nashville's the closest town to it, basically here. This is a dirt road, a dirt path just off of Bevins Road that we're going to talk about here. And someone spots what they believe is an animal carcass on the side of the road.
Yeah.
So as one does, they went to get a closer look. That's the weirdest thing in the world to me. That's the difference, I feel like. Maybe if you're like a hunter or a woodsman, you're like, what is that? I wonder what that was killed by. I need to take a closer look at that. But if I see that, I go, ooh, that looks like something dead, and I go the other way.
Driving down the road, when I see something dead, I look and go, I don't know what that was. And we just keep going.
We keep driving. And then I forgot about it a second later.
What kind of animal you guys think that was? I don't know.
Possum?
I don't know either. Yeah, we'll find another.
Who knows?
It's a freeway. We're doing 80.
It's fine. So I don't know what kind of a person investigates further when they see what they believe is an animal carcass off the side of a very, very rural dirt road in the middle of nowhere. So It's a strange thing here. They check it out. It turns out, shockingly enough for this show, it's not an animal, but it is a man. It is a man. Seems to be, it's an adult. Smaller guy, though, not a big person, but definitely by the look of the face, an adult, but nobody older. Maybe someone under 30 looks like somebody like that. The only real clue here, first, is a tattoo of a housefly. It's a regular fly on his arm.
Okay.
He's got that on his arm, so there's that. I don't know what could make you so happy with flies that you would want to tattoo one on your body, but that's fine. He's very dead, and when police turn him over and look at him, he's dead because he has shotgun blast wounds to his chest. Very close range, too, from what they could tell there. So they're interested, obviously. This isn't an accident.
No.
Because you'd think maybe someone got hit by a car and they thought they hit a deer at night or something. Maybe someone was out hunting, or maybe it's a hunting accident. But this is a close range shotgun blast to the chest. Doesn't seem to be an accident. So they're thinking, who knows? What is this, a robbery? So they search him. He's got money on him and keys. with like car keys, house keys on him, like,
the whole bundle.
Somebody's key ring. He's got keys and money on him, which are a strange thing when you find somebody on the side of the road.
Right.
Those are things that, if
those
someone
disappear pretty quick.
Absolutely. If someone was killing them and didn't know them very well or anything, they would think, well, I'll just grab these also.
I'll take the money.
Might as well.
And the car.
Since they're dead anyway, they're not going to be using their Buick now.
I don't want to walk.
I mean, Jesus, it's a long way. So they find him here. So obviously this is a problem, and they're concerned with why you'd find someone dead in the middle of nowhere like this.
Those aren't all the answers they're satisfied with.
No, those are not. Those are not. There's a few questions. There's a few questions there, and we'll get back to who that was in a minute. But so there's a dead body, and there's a lot of fervor going on around it to wonder to find this. A, who it is, and B, who the hell did this to this person in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. So with that said, let's tell a little story about some people with the looming. That was October 6th, 1985. Okay, let's talk about some people. Let's talk about a lady named Anna Marie Bouchard.
Hell yeah.
Bouchard, she's born in 1939, so she's in her late 40s here. She's 46 years oldish, and she lives in. She's going to be moving around a little bit. We'll kind of talk about her story, but with her is her daughter Peggy here, and Peggy is married to a guy named Harold Stevens, but we don't call him Harold. Everyone calls him Snake.
What?
Nickname Snake.
I don't see how we get from there to there.
Well, it's just
because Harry is a pain in the ass of a name.
I just love it because his name is Snake, like Stevie says his nickname is in the documentary, and his last name is Stevens, which is amazing. So
it's pretty good.
I just picture this man is Stevie, and when you hear the story more, dude, if you haven't seen the documentary, watch it. But if not, if you have seen it, picture Stevie in your head. Yeah. That's who we're looking at here. Okay. So Snake and his girlfriend. So now all you're going to picture is Tanya. Yeah. All you're going to picture is her, but it's not. Okay. So Peggy Stevens is his wife. All right. Also, and Peggy's Anna's daughter. Okay. Her maiden name is Bouchard. Peggy Bouchard. Now she's married to Harold. Peggy Stevens, Peggy and Snake Stevens live with Mama Anna's at Mama Anna's house.
Pockets full of frogs.
Pockets full of frogs. Well, they're leaking out of the holes in the pockets, obviously, but so not only do they live together,
Catfishes loves frogs.
Oh, Catfishes loves frogs.
He pluralizes the middle word for everything.
I ain't scared of him.
People's changes.
People's changes. He does do that.
It's so weird. I don't know why he does that. He hits the plural.
He's got the oddest speech patterns in the world because he's got. It's so weird. I mean, it's very southern dialect down there too.
I think he just says catfish loves frogs.
Catfish loves frogs.
Which one? What do you? What? Did you name a catfish?
I think he said.
Are you talking about all of them loves frogs?
Just Frank the catfish. Just this one catfish I met one time. Nobody else. He told me. He done told me I like frogs.
I love frogs.
So now
he loves frogs.
Yeah, so he loves frogs.
Catfish loves frogs.
I say, you don't like frogs. You loves frogs, don't you? And he said, I do. And I said, that's right.
I think he says people changes. That's what he says.
Yeah, people change.
Instead of people change, he says people changes.
People changes. It's got that hot stuff on there.
What the fuck is happening? Well, such a bizarre.
That's who we're dealing with here, with Snake Stevens and his wife Peggy.
Okay,
this is Peggy and Snake,
right?
Okay. Now, in addition to them, they also live there. Another one of Anna's daughters, named Cora Bouchard. She is Peggy's younger sister.
Okay,
she still lives there, and also Cora's son Brian lives there with them. Brian is, let's say, Brian's born in like 1978.
Okay,
so
he's like 9 years old.
You could put it there, or 1979, something like that. So
he's a young kid.
He's a young kid at this point. He lives with them, and also,
good Lord,
it's a lot. And
you can't do this.
More people will come later.
God.
Okay, and in addition to them, they're Peggy and Cora's brother, Anna's son Larry, also lives there.
You got 6 people in one house.
So they all live there. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so 6 people, and it's not a huge house at all.
Of course not.
At all here. They all lived there for a while. They moved around a couple times. They end up in Lansing, Michigan in 1982. Okay, they end up there. Now, back to Snake and Peggy.
Yeah.
Snake and Peggy have had kind of a tough time. I mean, they're a mess. Let's not mince words here. Yeah. They're a disaster, but even if everything around them was great, you could understand them being a little bit of a disaster because they've had some tragedy in their life.
Oh, no.
In 1979, their 14-month-old daughter, Jennifer, passed away.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is incalculably, that'll devastate.
Oh, my God.
That'll ruin
demoralizing, just soul leveling.
That'll absolutely ruin you. Yeah, they had moved to Tucson. The couple
came all the way out here,
all the way in Arizona, not here. We don't live in Tucson, but Arizona,
all the way out,
all the way out here. Yeah, so, the way out to
out
this
west,
to this here neck of the woods of Arizona. Yeah, so they had moved to Tucson, and apparently this little girl had passed away at age 14 months, and it was just devastating to the whole family, as that would obviously be. And then they ended up moving back to Michigan, the Peggy and Snake, to be closer to family and to bury their young daughter
who died of boredom in Tucson.
I think that's what it was. Clearly some sort of weird
Tucson
chemical thing from Tucson. So
poor kid.
Now let's talk about Rodney Fancher. Okay, Rodney Fancher is going to come into the picture here. Rodney Fancher, little guy Rodney is. Not little like he's not, miniature
like
or anything. But he's 5'7", but 125 pounds.
Oh,
too.
boy, oh, boy.
So, yeah, he got 50 pounds on this chief.
At minimum.
You could, on a good day.
Yeah.
If Jimmy hasn't been drinking in a few weeks, Jimmy's got 50 pounds on
he could use a few beers.
Yeah.
Come on over, Rodney.
Yeah, Rodney's, now Rodney was on leave from the Army. Rodney goes in.
That's defending our country?
And also, he's got an 8th grade education.
Oh, my God.
So, Rodney has a tough time finding work later on too. 'Cause it's tough he's in the 8th grade, 8th grade education, but he was in the Army. So he's in the Army for, does a whole little tour here, stint in the Army, whatever it is. He does that. In 1982, May of 1982, on leave from the Army, he comes home to stay with his mom, and living next door, who had just moved in next door to them, were the Bouchard family with Harold, with Snake and Peggy and Larry and little Brian and Cora and the whole Anna, the whole clan lives next door, had moved in next door.
And Rodney lives next door to that.
Rodney lives next door to that with his mom, and it's just him and his mom next door, and then there's this whole posse next door to them. And apparently the houses could not be any more different. Like they look like they were they should be from different neighborhoods.
Right.
Like they said, the Fancher house with his mom Mary and Rodney was a very nice, clean, put together house that
flagpole out front.
Yeah, everything lawn all mowed and things like that. I'm sure back then they probably had a fucking lawn jockey out there, but he was all shined up.
Right.
They're being racist, but they really kept it clean. You know what I mean? That sort of shit. Whereas next door to it, the Bouchard house was just a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
Said it was just a mess. They said in the newspaper they called it a quote cluttered, shabby house. It was a wreck though. It was a total disaster.
Yeah.
Things were strewn about. The lawn was a mess. The house was falling apart, and there's a lot of people there. Tons of like shit cars in the
frat house.
Shit cars in the driveway and the lawn. When people have just given up and started putting their shit cars on their grass, that's the things they need an intervention. Yeah. Someone needs to knock on the door and go, "Are you feeling all right? You're sad. You don't care anymore, obviously. You've just decided,
quit.
Fuck it.
You quit.
Yeah, you decided that spot of that rectangle can be brown. I don't care. Fuck it." I have a friend that I know, this guy.
Still?
Yeah. I say yes. Good guy. He's a good guy. But his house was a goddamn disaster. At one point, he had a hole in his roof of his bedroom where you would think like in the ceiling, but it also went all the way to the roof.
What?
So you could see sunlight through his bedroom, through his bedroom ceiling.
Oh, my God. Okay? People pay for that, but it's done well. And it's skylight.
This was, he would have to put plastic up to like redirect rainwater into a bucket. Oh, my God. Well, anyway, he has this old truck that just died, so he just pushed it into the backyard and just put it back there, and it's been back there for 15 years now, and it's like returning to the earth, like it's sunken into the earth now, and like eventually it'll just be reclaimed by the earth.
At one point it was earth, so I guess
it's going to reclaim these parts in one way or another. It's going to return an 82 Dodge pickup to the earth. It's fucking hilarious.
That's amazing.
But he just didn't care. He just wheeled it back there. He's like, there it is. And so, like, okay, it's fucking funny.
Everybody knows somebody that did that shit. Yeah.
That's great.
That's
to break his balls. He goes, I don't know.
What, am I going to sell it? Nobody wants it.
That's what he said. He's like, what else am I going to do with it? I'm like, I guess that's a good point.
I'd love it to run again one day, and I just can't right now.
No, well, you have to extract it from the ground first.
I need a crane to get it out.
A crane and like a whole fucking
team of friends
prospecting
to dig.
pack. Yeah, you need pans and rigs, and it's a goddamn disaster.
Yeah, you got to build a pulley system.
It's a lot. It's a lot to do, honestly. So now he moves in, and he meets young Rodney Fancher meets Cora Bouchard, the youngest daughter of the Bouchard family next door. She's got a son. She's 3 years older than him. Mm-hmm. I think he's 22, and she is 25 at the time. Okay. And Brian at this point is a couple years old, and obviously that's not Rodney's kid. Right. Clearly, they just met. So
and he just got out of the military.
He's on leave. He's still in the military.
He's still in.
So he meets there. He meets her, and he doesn't mind the child or anything like that. He totally falls for her. Yeah. And once he is discharged from the army 7 months later, he returns and joins the Bouchard household.
Moves in next door.
Moves in there. Why don't you take them and bring them to your side. Right. Over here. Cross the yard.
Right.
Over the fence. It's nicer here. You move into the shit house with them?
Not just that, like you're doing everybody a favor. You know what I mean?
I suppose,
You're creating a relationship and
that's good.
Becoming a stepfather, I guess, to this little guy, or father figure to the little guy.
Yeah.
And then you're freeing up some fucking space in that house.
Yeah.
Get her the fuck out.
That's what I mean. You move into the crowded house and then leave your mom all alone in the house.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't unless the mom was like, I don't want one of the white trash neighbors and their kid moving into my fucking house, maybe is what she thought.
Or she's like, get the fuck out, I was enjoying it when you were in the service.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. Are you going to get an apartment anytime soon? Because my sewing room, I'm not going to put your bed back in there.
I just got a new dildo that goes in the microwave. I'd like you to leave.
It's dishwasher safe too, so I'm going to be using all the appliances, and it's going to be messy.
There's going to be some noise in here.
It's going to be wild. It's a kickstart. It's got a kickstart. The last one was a pull string. This one's a kickstart. I'm not messing around.
Can't wait for those rechargeable batteries one day.
Well, yeah, especially this one's gas powered. It's very difficult.
She's gonna find out about lithium ion. It's gonna blow her mind.
Oh my god, this thing gets kerosene. It's like you have to come before you pass out from the smoke scent, from the fumes. That's the problem. If you can pull one off quickly, though, this is the best one on the market. So don't be downwind of it. So, holy shit. So he joins them. The house is now there's 7 people in the house and 6 adults too. I mean, 6 adults is a lot of adults. It's not like there's 3 kids and 4. Yeah. There's 6 adults. That's a lot of.
And 2 couples?
Couples. 2 couples, an older lady, the brother. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Those are a lot of showers. Yeah. That's a lot of shitting. Yeah. That's T-bowls for B-holes. You know what I'm saying?
A sad couple that just lost a baby too. Yeah. So you're going to make a happy family and rub it in our face. We don't have our baby.
At times it got so bad that Snake and Peggy there would just go outside and live in their van for a while out in the yard. You think that sounds bad? They would run an electrical cord into the house from the van so they could get electricity.
Good Lord.
That is a little bit
That's
fucking
bleak,
weird.
Man.
Dude, that is bleak as shit.
That's depressing. That's not a good life.
No, you don't want to live in the front. Well, imagine Mary next door going, my son moved in over there? Right. Why? Jesus Christ. People living in a van with an extension cord.
Did my son kick people out of their own house and make them live in a van?
Here? What is happening?
My boy is a man.
I guess so. So that apparently there's some just general acrimony in the house in terms of 7 people living in a small house is always going to be a lot.
You can't do it.
No T-bowls for B-holes. That's what we've said a million times. There's not 7 bathrooms in that home. I guarantee that shit. So the other problem that comes up is the fact that young Brian, Cora's young son, apparently it's a weird thing. Apparently, Snake has really taken to Brian. Because they lost their child, and he's really become attached to young Brian. Okay, this is his nephew there. So Snake and Peggy really have taken a liking to young Brian, especially Snake. Though Snake is all about Brian.
Was the baby a boy or a girl?
It was a girl. Okay. It was a little girl, but still, it's just a kid.
It's a child.
It's a child, and you're going to feel that.
Filling that hole in his heart.
Exactly, right. And so it becomes to be a little bit competitive between Rodney and Snake about who's gonna basically Snake would get mad that like Rodney would do things with Brian, and he'd be like, "What about Uncle Snake?" Right. They called him Uncle Snake, by the way.
Oh my God!
What about Uncle Snake? Ain't he do shit? Where was this guy when Uncle Snake was changing diapers?
Oh my God!
Shit like that. So he's jealous of the kids.
Look at what I got you, Brian. This is your own frogs.
Yeah, look at that. Got your own frogs. Open them pockets up. There you go. And here, you know what else I got you? Here's a teddy bear. Yours is the one that's got that hot stuff on there.
Nephews loves frogs.
And he loves frogs. Nephews loves frogs. So early 1983, everybody's living in this house. Everybody's doing their thing. Everyone's in this house now. They live in Lansing there from early 1983 until June or July of 1984 when the Stevens is
all of them,
Snake and Peggy there moved to a small town near Lansing, another little town around Nashville. I think they lived in Charlotte, maybe, which is near there as well. He had the competition still, because now it's even worse, because now they want like Brian to come like hang out with them at their house and stuff like that, and Rodney and Cora are doing their own thing with Brian, and that's kind of how that works. So this is when conflict gets, you'd think the conflict would subside,
dissipate
when they move away, they'd forget, but it becomes worse, because now, before they could just go get Brian and bring him out to the van and hang out there with them or do whatever they want, play some, it's 80 for play some jarts in the lawn. I don't know. What's a dangerous game that kids played in the 80s?
Listen to Bon Jovi and count frogs.
Yeah, count frogs and fucking listen to Air Supply. I don't know what's happening in the 80s.
Wait on the clock to change to a new animal sound.
Get Brian! Foghat came on the radio. Get him! Get him! He's going on here.
Foghat's on, and we're about to hear the leopard. Hurry up!
Oh boy, it's the Journey Separate Ways video. He's going to want to see them do air keyboard. It's inspiring for a young man.
At 4 o'clock, the elephant sounds.
Hurry! Let's do it. So they, so there's a huge conflict, and it's a weird thing to fight about. I want to see your kid more. It's like, well, it's my kid, and you can come over and see him if you want to see him. I'm not going to send him to your house all the time. I'd like him. Right. It's one of those deals. So finally, early 1985, Cora goes to her mother, Anna, and the matriarch of the family here, and says, will you help me kind of let them understand that this is, it's becoming a problem. So talk to my sister. Yeah, talk to my sister and Snake. Right. I've tried to reason with Snake.
Hey, Mom, that guy that lived here and he didn't have a person name? Can you talk to him for me?
Talk to him?
He's unreasonable,
weirdly. It's weird. It's strange that you'd give... I know his name is Snake and he's a reptile and all, but he is unreasonable. I'd expect better of him. Strange. So all sorts. So Anna decides she decides she's going to try to, mediate the situation, and she does. She says, look, they don't want to. Mr. Snake. They don't want to send the kid over as much. So everything kind of eases up a little bit on the outside, but on the inside there is a real animosity between Rodney and Snake.
Really?
Snake is real jealous and pissed off at Rodney for coming in and fucking up the whole thing. He had basically, he felt like this was like he was the father figure here for this kid, and now he's been pushed to the side, and he's very, very angry at him for it. So,
what?
It's fucking, the whole thing is silly. The whole thing is goddamn silly. So the whole thing happens where the Stevenses, Snake and Snake and Peggy end up moving back in with the mother, and it becomes a big, powder keg of people again here. So Cora and Rodney decide, okay, we have to get out of here.
Yeah.
We have to get out of here. This is, I want Rodney to be this kid's father and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to, we can't have this shit around. We need to move. It's not working out. Let's get an apartment. They said at that point they were all just mostly avoiding each other. Basically, that's all they could do out of this. And at this point, Cora is working part-time at the National Guard, she says.
Cool.
And but her check would go to make the house payment for her mom. That's how it would work. Yeah. Her mother also gets a general assistance check that everyone here is on welfare.
Yeah.
Everybody here is on welfare. So everyone's on some sort of assistance. She'd get a monthly general assistance check, but she didn't think her mother could meet the house payments on her own. That was the whole thing. So she ended up basically the mother needs Cora to be there.
Right.
Because Cora helps pay for the house.
It sounds as if Snake is not doing that.
Snake is not really pulling his weight all that much.
So why the fuck does Cora gotta go?
Cora and Rodney decided they need to get an apartment and get the fuck away from these people.
But that's my point, is that Anne should be like, look, they pay bills.
Yeah.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Exactly. But that isn't the way it's going to go.
No.
So, Anna doesn't know this is going on. This is a big secret.
Oh.
Apparently, Rodney and Cora think they need to keep this all secret because they think there's going to be a lot of problems. If they say we're moving out, then they have to fight with Peggy and Snake about we're not going to see the kid. And then Anna's going to go, what about my fucking, mortgage payment? It's going to be a big disaster. So they want to get an apartment first before they, start telling people about it. So they do. They spend like a weekend secretly apartment hunting, looking around. They don't tell anybody. Nothing. Apartment shopping. This is late September 1985. Mary Fancher, who is Rodney's mother, she said that later on, though, it was discovered by Anna, Cora's mother. She found out about the plot to find an apartment.
Yeah.
She said this was early October. They, I guess Rodney or Cora, one of them had misplaced their list of apartments that they were looking at and crossing off. And Brian, Cora's son, found it and gave the list to his grandma. Like, oh, they've dropped their thing. Here you go. So she's like, what's this? Oh, apartments. These lousy sons of bitches. So, so at that point, at that point, it becomes now they want to hold them there. Everybody wants them to stay. And now the fact that it's weird because Snake and Rodney are always fighting, but now Snake wants him to stay.
Yeah.
Even though they're fighting.
He knows that he's fucked if this kid leaves.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now, Cora says of the whole thing, quote, more than anything, it was Rod pulling away from Snake. After their own baby died, Peggy and Snake just took to Brian, and they really didn't like the idea of Rod coming into the picture. Well, tough shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? What the fuck are you going to do? So the weird thing is, in this time period, Cora gives birth to another son named Brad.
And this is Rodney's baby.
No, it's not.
Oh,
this also isn't Rodney's baby. Now, we don't know what the timeline is of if they were together. I don't give a shit who the kid's dad is. It doesn't fucking matter. It's not relevant to the story, but either way, there's another kid in the picture now as well.
Shows how much of a man Rodney is. He's going to stand up and be both there.
Oh, yeah. He's fine with that.
Wow.
Totally fine with that. But yeah, everybody said too, he loved the child like his own. Like you couldn't tell it wasn't his kid. He was totally fine with this. Now at this point, the Stevenses decide they're going to move out again too. They want to move out.
Snake's had enough.
Snake's had enough, and Snake's moving out, and now Snake is accusing Rodney of abusing the children. Snake saying that Rodney's abusing the children. Okay. Snake says, is terrible, and it's Peggy said later on. Peggy will say, "quote Rod got so that he was treating Brian mean, and it got so that he wouldn't let us see him or talk to him no more. We was hoping maybe my sister would get rid of would realize what was going on and get rid of him.
Okay,
we was hoping.
Right, we was
hoping.
It's hard to take the word of her who's married or dating a man named Snake.
That everyone calls Snake.
Whose word do you take, James?
Hello, Snake.
Or veteran Rodney?
No. Snake, though, he's a certain something about him. He seems like a trustworthy guy.
He can really sell a story.
Yeah, and now Cora says the opposite. Cora said, "quote Rod loved the boys and thought too much of kids to abuse them. He let them get away with more stuff than I did." So she said, "No, never abusive to the kid whatsoever. That's complete bullshit." So, Jesus Christ. So they're apparently doing everything they can, especially Anna is doing everything they can, and Peggy and Snake are doing everything they can kind of to help Anna, to keep Rodney and Cora from moving out. Okay. Keep them in this
We need them
disastrous,
in this fucking horrible living situation
of a fucking mess. Jesus Christ, what a goddamn disaster! So,
when you need 7 incomes to take care of a fucking house,
and none of them are really incomes,
right.
Even that's the other thing.
It's 7 government chip-offs.
Rodney is having a real hard time paying the bills at this point. It's really tough because basically her $500 a month that she gets from welfare here, Cora goes right to at this point is going right to the house bills. So that's something. So now by the summer of 1985, talk about here, all they're doing, now Peggy, the daughter, Peggy Stevens, Snake's wife, and Anna, the mother, the matriarch of the situation here, all they do is talk on the phone and complain about Rod not letting them see Brian. It's literally every day they get that and use the word was wrong. You know, it's just like, we was saying that he was going to do that, and then they was saying they was going to take us here, and it ain't happening.
Right.
So they end up talking on the phone like every day to fuck, I don't know why.
Commiserate about how much they don't like this guy.
Can you believe it? Oh my God!
How dare him pay all our bills?
And then get mad that he doesn't want Snake to spend tons of time with his child,
right.
Or, whatever, his stepchild, future stepchild. So Peggy said at one point, quote, about her mom, I asked her if just beating him up would maybe do the trick. Maybe we'll get Rodney beat up, and then he'll let us see Brian more. So Peggy says, though, that Anna said, no, that's not going to do the trick.
He is stubborn, that
No,
one.
she said, quote, she thought that would only make him worse. Only make him worse. It's going to just...
Probably right.
It's probably right. You kick his ass, he's going to go, I will take that ass whooping out on that child on a daily basis now. Hell will come down.
It'll make me worse on that child, and I'm going to get a restraining order on y'all, and y'all won't be able to see him none.
Yeah, no shit. So it's at this point where one of Snake's old high school pals comes into the picture. Because Snake, they got to be the most upstanding citizens ever here. One of Snake's pals from high school named Tony Hill, who is a part-time janitor, part-time elementary school janitor at this point. Yeah, part-time elementary. No one is gainfully employed in this entire story. It's not a thing that happens. Everyone is sort of working here and kind of working there, and like posting for jobs at the truck stop bulletin and shit like that. We'll talk about it.
We already know they don't call you back when you get an interview, so
you could try. That's why I got posted at the truck stop. Maybe somebody out of town will hire you. So
posting jobs for, hey, can you hire me?
Yeah, that's what happens.
Wild.
So
I want to be called part-time somewhere in my life. That's my goal. I want to be part-time.
I don't, because then I'm not going to have. Then you'll have.
I want to be so well paid and so well taken care of in my life at some point that I can just be.
I'm just going part-time.
Part-time.
No, this is. I really wish I could be full-time, but they'll only give me so many hours and so much money. I'll stay. I'd stay if they'd let me, but they won't let me. So
they make me leave it too.
It's the rules.
I show up at 10. They say 2:00. It's
if
quitting
not,
time.
They'll take my card and just punch me out. Work all I want, but I'm not getting paid. So Tony Hill and Snake here, they rekindle their friendship because they're both assigned to the same job when they're in the Eaton County Work Fair program. So they're in some county like day labor program, basically temp day labor type thing, and they end up meeting up. Hey, I remember you. Yeah, you're the other guy who failed math class with me. All right, beautiful. Phew, you look terrible. You too. All right, clank, and they clank beers and chug them down. And
life's a piece of shit, ain't it?
Ain't it, boss?
You ain't never lied.
The fucking worst. If I could afford bullets, I'd have put my brains on the back of my fucking wall last night. But
I got a gun on layaway.
I'll be damned if I could do it.
7 more payments. That bitch is mine.
Can afford that box?
Then I'll work on the bullets.
So, you got to do both. So, he said the Tony Hill talks with him, and they said they have a talk about it. Right away. The whole thing turns to this goddamn guy I know. Oh, God. Jesus Christ! Now my daughter died, and I got this nephew, and he's a good little kid, and this goddamn Rodney coming in here pushing me out of the picture, and how dare he.
That's exactly how it went.
Yeah, and can you imagine?
You can see it unfold.
Yeah, and you haven't seen this guy in 15 years?
Right.
They're like 35 years old, these people.
Right.
29 years or whatever. You haven't seen this guy in over 10 years, and he's talking to you about his fucking brother-in-law. Complain. Who cares?
This guy. This should be a like eyes bugging out your head. Oh my god, I gotta get out of this conversation.
I'm late.
I've got a thing.
Like, no, we haven't seen. How's Stinky? Have you seen him? Things like that. Hey, did you hear Pudgy died? Or I don't know.
I gotta return some tapes.
Yeah. Hey, Lefty's a woman now. Things like that. Did you hear? So this what they do. Rodney's looking for steady work, too. That's everybody. They're in a work fair program. Rodney's looking for work. Everybody's looking for steady work. And so they said, okay, let's do something here. We can get Rodney. This is how we do it. If we're going to kick his ass, this is how we're going to do it, okay? Real easy. What we'll do is we'll tell him he doesn't know this Tony Hill guy. So we'll have Tony Hill offer him a job. And then he'll show up to the job and get his ass kicked. Okay. And that clever. You know what I mean? That's what we're gonna do here. Yeah, he's gonna do that. And so what Peggy does is Peggy tells Rodney, hey, I did you a favor. Mm-hmm. I put your name and your information up at a truck stop, at Don's truck stop.
Right.
Thanks for the solid.
Right.
It's Don's. I wanted to make sure you didn't put it at the shit truck stop. You put it at Don's?
Right.
Thank God. You never know what you'll be doing.
It's the other side of the glory hole, but it's full time.
I mean.
You ain't leaving. You're chained to the legs of that thing.
Hold on a minute. Don says he's going to test you out first. Here, sit tight. Wait, he'll be here in a minute. You have to impress Don, is from what I understand. I don't know what that is.
Hands are duct taped around a fucking toilet bowl.
Yeah. So apparently, a man called Rodney to and identified himself as Rich Hoover. He said, "I'm Rich Hoover."
Really?
Rich Hoover.
Dick sucker? Really?
Rich Hoover.
Nice.
Or Hoovy. They don't know. Either one. They couldn't tell because it's, who knows over the phone.
Doesn't matter.
So Rich Hoover or Rich Hoovy, either way, some cocksucking something.
Yeah.
He calls on October 2nd, 1985. Calls Rodney and offers him 4 hours of work for $80.
Okay.
Which $20 an hour in 1985 in rural, that's a good day's work for him. So he fucking jumps at it. This is to unload a truck.
Okay.
So $80 for 4 hours unloading a truck, and they go there. Now, no one by the name of Rich Hoovy or Hoover exists in this area, by the way. So the guy tells Rodney, meet me in Potterville at this bar. Okay, meet me there. But then he calls back and tells Rodney that he had truck problems and changes the meeting to the next night. So that's how it goes. So Rodney says, okay, next night. This was a Wednesday night. And he goes, okay, never mind. It's happening Thursday night. So that's how it goes here. This is about 7:30 the next evening. Rodney leaves on the 3rd to go meet this man at a bar to then go to the truck to unload it. That's the plan. Meet me here, pick you up in the truck. We'll go unload the shit there. So this apparently caused a fight as well because Rodney was pissed that his fucking sister-in-law is posting his shit up at truck stops. Right. Even though he's getting jobs out of it, he's like, hey, don't you mind your own business. Stay out of my kid. Yeah. Stay out of my fucking employment. Just stay out of my life.
Stay out of my relationship. Just keep to yourself.
Stay out of my fucking shit here. Yeah. But all he could ever find was part-time jobs due to the fact that he went to the 8th grade, and that's about it here. So now Peggy and Snake decided that Tony Hill's going to pose as the trucker here. The note had been posted and all that sort of thing here. Now there is some question as to how much Anna knows about this, the whole matriarch of the family, how much she knows about this whole thing at this point and everything. Nobody really knows, but they definitely know that Anna was the one later on who gave Rodney the name and phone number to call this guy back. So Anna at some point is in this mess.
She's been tied in.
She's in the fucking mix here. She's in the mix at some point here. So what they do is Snake Stevens and Peggy need an alibi. Yeah. Okay, they need an alibi for this whole thing. So they say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Bay City and go see a friend of mine named James Oswald. Okay. Now, as they're planning their alibi, They talk to Peggy says they talk to Anna a little more about this and tell her now what's actually going to happen. Yeah. And Anna says, I don't think it's just going to make him worse. I think it's just going to make him worse. So at this point, this is when Snake goes, well, I mean, why not just shoot him? I mean, we're going to beat him up anyway. Just shoot him. No one will miss him. Who gives a shit? Fuck him. So they went,
what we're doing is illegal anyhow.
It's illegal anyhow. Fuck it. So let's go for it. So they say, why not? So this is considered. Now, we don't know whether this was considered in front of Anna or decided in front of Anna or not. So that's the only thing that goes. But either way, Snake and Peggy need an alibi. So they go to Bay City with a guy named James Oswald. And so they go to meet him. Now, Oswald says that Stevens told him he wanted to be seen in the bar so that he could say he was there. Yeah. That's the quote he said. So Snake said, I just wanted to be seen here so I could say I was here, which is very strange here.
I mean, that's
it's I don't understand that.
Well, we know. Yeah, you can say it.
Yes,
we see ya.
So so Snake at this point decides that it's better. The whole thing's going down the next night. It's better for him to be out of state. He goes, I'm happy it didn't go down tonight actually because I'm in town. I want to be out of state when this whole thing goes down. This is how this has to work. So what they do is they go back to the trailer here and they figure out a way to. He ends up going to Florida the next day to pick up a truck trailer to bring home to have an alibi here. So when they back at the bar though, Snake was talking to his buddy James Oswald and saying that he was basically saying how we're gonna pick up and bump off this child abuser guy. So he's just telling not details, not telling about Rodney, but he's saying I know this child abuser guy. We're gonna bump him off and snuff him out. Is what he said, and the guy's like, okay, whatever. You fucking. I mean, it's Snake.
Snake.
He's talking shit.
Right.
Snake's gonna talk shit.
Believe anything the man says.
Don't believe Snake.
Don't believe a goddamn word.
At 8:30 p.m., Snake proposes a toast. He notes the time and says, it's 8:30. I'd like to propose a toast. He literally said that. He noted the time. It's 8:30. It's time for a toast.
It is September 23rd, 8:30.
That's me. I'm at this bar. That's how much he was trying to establish an alibi. He wanted to stand up and it's 8:30 and I'm here. Let's celebrate.
Passing out copies of today's paper.
Yeah, 8:30. Let's all take pictures with today's paper. What do you say? Everybody, let's take a group shot.
Everybody got a digital camera with a timestamp? Will you take a
group photo with all today's paper?
Get the clock in the picture.
Let's do it. Anybody. So have tonight's news on in the background too. Let's make sure you get the TV in the shot. I really want everyone to see what's going on. There's a football.
Dayton weather in the
Monday
corner.
Night Football's on. We'll really date it. So October 3rd though, at 1985 is when this is all supposed to go down. Now, for his part in this, Tony Hill was given. So what we find out, what is this Tony Hill? What's he going to get for this?
Yeah.
What's he going to get for this? I mean, a hit is going to cost a lot. Right. I mean, think about it. That's a lot. What he ends up with is $100. I need $100. This is so Stevie, this whole thing. I need $100 cash. I'm out of here.
Wow. That's amazing.
Hey. Wow. So did they get the confession suppressed? That's what I'm saying, man. I'm out of here. I need $100 cash.
That's amazing.
$100 cash.
he's clearly not jacked.
No, he's like, not.
Wait, what?
He's like looking around like, is my wife hearing this?
Are my kids safe?
Fuck. You're not out now, are you? Are you not? You're on the way here? You don't know my address, do you?
You're not down the street, right?
Fuck.
I've got daughters.
Oh, God. So this guy is given $100 and an 8-year-old motorcycle.
Oh, my God.
An 8-year-old candy apple red motorcycle with pinstripes and a chrome backrest.
Do we know what kind of bike it is?
Nope, that's all I know out of it.
That's all we get.
That's it.
It's a Honda.
It's 8 years old and it's red. And $100 cash.
A chrome backrest.
Yeah.
It's got a sissy bar on it.
So Rodney leaves October 3rd, and he goes out. Bye, honey. I'm going to work. I'm going to unload this truck. I'll be home about midnight, whatever. Comes back, goes out, and the next morning he's still not home.
He doesn't come home.
Now, all that Cora knows is she's supposed to meet that Rodney's supposed to meet this guy he's working with at this bar. So she calls this bar and says, hey, was my husband in, so-and-so, and he drives this car and everything? And they say, well, he's not here. I never saw him, but that car that you described was in the parking lot.
It's there.
So the car's there, but we don't know where your husband is. So she's like, fuck, I'm super confused here. Until October 6th, when the body's found.
Oh, no.
And she's looking for him, and they go, hey, your husband or your boyfriend, Rodney, doesn't happen to have a tattoo of a housefly on his arm, does he?
What did he do that for?
He does.
But, thank God he did it.
And so now they know who he is. And, So his mother here, Mary, is fucking pissed. She's hated these people since they moved in next door. Yeah. She says, quote, when we heard Rod still had his money and car keys on his body and that his car was back at the blinker light bar, we knew something was real wrong. It seemed like a setup job, a real grudge job. She talks like a 40s gangster. That's what I said. It's a setup job, real grudge job, see? I said, all these guys are coming down. It's a real setup job.
They gave me the facts, and I knew he was rubbed out.
He went to the bar. I said, what kind of bar is that? It's a lesbian bar. I said, oh, my. We can't have that. Not in this town. My goodness. Jeez. What do the school kids think? Two ladies kissing. Fucking, she sounds like she's from the 40s.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Meanwhile, Jesus, that would be great.
Seemed like a setup, a real grudge job.
I go, if I was a teenager and one of those bars existed in my town and I knew it,
back then,
you couldn't pull me away from those windows.
In the 40s?
Yeah.
Oh, in the 40s,
watching
you'd be like,
look at, they're all kissing.
Oh my God, Jesus, that would have been the greatest thing in the world. I wouldn't have cared. It would have just been, they're all women.
Right.
Yay. I don't care what they're doing. Look at how many women are in there. That's amazing.
They don't want anything to do with me.
Terrific.
I wouldn't know that anyway because I can't get in.
I can't get in. And I wouldn't know what to do with them at the time anyway.
But I can fantasize about what I would do.
I think I want to look at them, though. As a kid, you don't exactly know what you want to do. But
what would you do? I don't know. I'd touch them.
You definitely want to look at them. I'm going to look at them, and then, I think they'll touch me. I think. That's how it works, right?
They'll touch me, I'll touch them.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's going to be great.
So,
boys loves girls.
Boys loves girls. Sometimes boys loves boys.
Sometimes girls loves girls.
Girls loves girls. So, when the Stevenses here, Peggy and Snake get back from Florida. Mm-hmm. They wait to hear that the body was found. Then they come back from Florida. Like, oh, it was a good vacation down there. We got some work done here.
Sun and the fun.
And they tell them there's been a death in the family. Oh, no. Oh, geez. They're so... Harold's very upset. They said he seemed nervous, but he quickly calmed down. And he said to his friend, James Oswald, the guy who he told there's a child abuser going to get rubbed out. He said that there'll probably only be a, quote, a short investigation. I don't think this will amount to much, all of that sort of deal. Yeah. So it's at that point that they go pick up Tony Hill and they get the details. Yeah. So Peggy and Snake get the details from Tony, and he said that Hill said he picked up Rodney at the bar like they planned. They smoked a joint on the way to this job. Like, hey, want to get high on the way to the job site? Yeah, sure. Then what he did was, as they're driving, Tony Hill said that, hey, I got some more weed in the back of the truck here in my toolbox. If you want, I'll go grab it. We can smoke a little more before this job. And so Rodney was like, yeah, cool. So they pull off to the side of the road.
Best job ever.
Sounds fucking great.
$20 an hour to smoke weed.
And get high. I'll be high the whole time. This'll fly by.
And I don't pay for it? This
Terrific.
Is great.
So they pulled over off on the side of a country road to get it out of the back of the truck there. And instead of the toolbox, what Hill did is he comes up with a sawed-off shotgun.
Oh, Jesus.
Instead, he pulls out, he's expecting literally a joint, and instead gets a sawed-off shotgun, which are very different things. Entirely different. And he said that this is what Hill said he told Rodney before he shot him. Quote, "This was for the way you treated Brian. This was the way Grandma wants things done."
Oh, Jesus.
That's what he told her. That's what he told him. This is the way Grandma wants things done, and then shoots him in the chest with a sawed-off shotgun and kills him.
And this is for you being a great man to a child.
This is for you trying to be a stepdad.
How dare you?
His grandma apparently wants you dead for it. So that's what he said to him. And so the cops are trying to figure out. Weeks go by. They don't know their whole thing is they're looking for, now they think instead of Rich, they think it might be Jim Hoover or Jim Hoovy. Either way, they're hunting for a Rich Hoover or Jim Hoover or Hoovy, or they're searching for that because that's the person they think, whoever that guy is.
That's the lead.
That's the lead. Wow. That guy doesn't fucking exist is the only thing. So this is weeks of trying to find this guy who does not exist, because it could be anywhere around the area.
Not once did they just go, we've been had.
No, all of them are like, it's got to be this Hoovy, because the Anna Bouchard, the mother, is the one saying, yeah, this guy called the house for Rodney, and that's what happened. He went, so there's no, why the fuck would she lie about it? Why would his girlfriend's mother, who got a call for him to go get a job, lie to the cops?
I don't know. That's the cop's job to figure out, though. But you know what I mean? What the second that they go into the phone book and go, no names? Yeah. Maybe she's lying.
Or maybe he's unlisted. How the fuck would why would they automatically suspect the girlfriend's mother? I bet his mother murdered him. You know what I mean? I bet his girlfriend's mother murdered him. They'd be more likely that some dirtbaggy's out. You know what I mean?
Probably, but
it makes more sense. Yeah. That's not the first.
Still, as a cop, you got to go, I don't know. It may not be true. Let's pit this together minus that information.
As a cop, you go, who has reason to lie? Not this lady. That's the point. She has no fucking reason to lie. She's trying to help her daughter find her daughter's boyfriend at this point. She has no reason to lie. If you do that, no one would ever get caught for anything, because you can't just go, anyone's as possible a lead as anyone else. That's not, you know what I mean? That's not possible.
But at the same time, you still
There's a serial killer. Check all the 8-year-old girls, too. I know that they probably didn't rape and murder all those women, but you never know. Check them. Also, all the old ladies.
There was semen at all the crime scenes. Every woman on earth, I want to interview.
The last person you'd look at Cora more than you'd look at Anna.
Yeah,
if Cora gave you that information, you might go, let's make sure it's right. But if her mother just said, some guy called the house and he said this and I passed the information along, I have no involvement otherwise.
I'd be the worst cop. I'd never solve a crime.
Yeah, you'd solve one by accident once in a while. This one.
Like, James, where were you? And you'd be like, I was here. And I'd be like, no, you weren't.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That guy's in jail now, and he made a full confession.
He's a liar.
He pulled the murder weapon out of his fucking out from under his bed. See, I think he's the guy, Jimmy.
I would be very.
Wait a second. Have you talked to the victim's grandmother? Now, no. Hear me out. I'm not completely sure she's been truthful to me here. Not positive.
James, where were you? No, you weren't. And then just the luck out of, you're right, I wasn't.
Oh, my God. What they end up doing is they review long-distance telephone bills and establish that Tony Hill had called the Bouchard several times just before the slaying here, and that's how they realized that who's involved in this, because the Stevenses were in Florida, so he's communicating with Anna at this point, so she's involved in this. That's how they figured the whole thing out. So once they realize there is no Jim Hoovy or Rich Hoovy, that's when they go to, okay, since that guy doesn't exist, why would Anna tell us that? And that's when they start looking at her phone records and go from there. So there's steps to this shit. You don't automatically accuse a 49-year-old woman with no criminal record of a murder of something she has no motive for.
Right.
It's just weird. So yeah, they said that at this point, though, the police officer said that everybody had an alibi. They said, it's got to be Stevens and Peggy, the Stevenses. But then they go, he's toasting people at fucking 8:30. Right. Then they're in Florida, so there's no way that they're there. But he did say, the cop said, quote, but Harold Stevens talked too much to James Oswald. And when Oswald found out, because the motorcycle came from Oswald. Oh. That was his motorcycle. And apparently Stevens told him that he used the motorcycle as part of the payment for a murder. And that's when James Oswald came forward to the cops, because he thought maybe if anything happened, this would get traced back to him and it would look like he hired the guy to murder him because it's his fucking motorcycle. Right. So he went to the cops and said, hey, little thing here. My high school buddy Snake, fucking, and our other high school buddy Tony here, they did this and that, and he spilled it. He told me he came to the bar because he needed an alibi and blah, 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 blah. He said, quote, he said a guy was going to get picked up and bumped off and snuffed out. And that he said Stevens claimed the guy was a child beater, abuser, and a doper. And that was it. So he was going to do it. And he didn't even feel.
I go funded this murder with my motorcycle.
Yeah. and he said that apparently the motorcycle was part of a down payment for the murder for Tony Hill. That's the story here. So they go all into the telephone records and find all sorts of shit here. They go to Peggy Stevens on December 27th with this. They arrest everybody. They arrest Stevens. They arrest Snake, Peggy, and Tony Hill. They're going to save Anna for a minute, but they arrest all of them. And Peggy, they're telling her all the information they have against her, and she goes, "What if I tell on everybody? What if I tell on my husband and Tony Hill? What if I throw my mom into it as well? How about that?" And they go, "Immunity."
Yeah.
So Peggy Stevens gets immunity for all of this now, and she tells her story, which is fucking crazy. Immunity from prosecution, and because it's Michigan, certain states have harsher laws on this. At this time, she will not even be allowed to testify against Snake because she's still married to him. So he gets their star witnesses out of his trial, which helps him a lot. But all the phone records and everything were a big deal. She apparently right away made a confessional statement right away when they talked to her. She said that her first statement did not include her mom in it. And then the second statement was like, okay, by the way, my mom was just as much involved in this as everybody else.
Unreal.
She said that her and her mother had discussed this with what she called excessive discipline of Brian by Rodney and agreed that something had to be done. Peggy said that Rodney should be beaten up or have his arms or legs broken. And she said that her mom, as we said earlier, said that's just going to make him worse. And that at first she didn't take her mother's statement seriously, that we should just kill him. And then finally, Snake said, well, why don't we just kill him? And I said, I guess that's what we're going to do then. Tony Hill said that he, could do it for, it would take $1,000 is what that was the cost for this. $1,000. We've had a couple of real cheap, between this and crime and sports this week, we've had some cheap execution costs. So Peggy then talked to her mother, told her the price, and her mother replied that she didn't have that much money.
We know.
But that it would have to be made in payments. And that she'd pay when she could and what she could. Hey, listen, I'm sorry, but you're looking for a murder. And you're like, listen, you want money for this? I'll pay you when I can and what I can, mister. Like, no, this is a murder. Save up.
Do you take WIC?
Yeah, how about save up for a few months? Have some fucking... What are you doing?
If you can afford it, James.
This is a real instant coffee culture right here when we can't even you can't even save up for a few months for a murder that you want. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, when you want a murder, you save up for it. You work, you cut some lawns, you do what you have to do, you save up and you go get that murder. But this fucking people, they're
deliver some papers.
They just want everything handed to them, this guy. By the way, Hill, his mugshot, he has one of these beard and mustache combinations that there's barely a mouth hole.
Awesome.
Where it looks like a possum's asshole. It's just all like just over it. I don't know what the fuck to describe it. It's the best way I can think of to describe it. It's just all too much where you're like, damn, he just stuffs food into his hair? That's a weird eating setup.
I just saw...
Trim your lips up, fellas.
Like a long-haired dog and a long-haired cat. It is fascinating that they don't shit on themselves more. You know what I mean?
Sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do, yeah.
My cousin has a little tiny dog.
Shit on themselves a lot more.
My cousin has a little tiny dog that he has to wipe its ass every time he takes it out. He has to fucking pick it up and wipe its ass. I'm like, that's some sorry shit, bro. That's sad.
So fucked
When he told me about it, I looked at him.
Is it a young pup?
No, it's just a dog.
Yeah.
It's just it gets stuck in the hair.
God damn.
So I looked at him dead in the eye and I just said, imagine you as a child. And you said, when I'm in my late 30s, I'm going to be wiping a dog's little asshole every time it shits. You'd have killed yourself as a teenager. You would have never. Here you are.
It's not worth it then.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I still do it. So. Jesus Christ.
That is crazy. So
now Hill is so pathetic. He goes, yeah, it's good enough. Whatever you can. That's good. Yeah, $100 in a shitty motorcycle.
I'll take it.
No problem. So, by the way, no money was paid to him before the hit.
Not a dime.
Nothing. Afterwards, he went to the bar to meet the Stevenses there, and they slipped him $100 under the table. That's how they do it.
Holy shit!
And
how will this do you?
She said the motorcycle wasn't wasn't a payment. The motorcycle was collateral against the rest of the payment. Like, you hold this motorcycle and I'll show you that I'll pay you the rest of the money.
They pawned a murder, James.
They pawned a murder. Yeah.
Wow.
It's literally the consignment murder.
Yeah.
That's the name of this episode.
It really
the
is.
Consignment murder.
This is depressing, horrible, just the lack of humanity entirely all the way around.
Yeah,
it is unbelievable.
There's no, I have a huge problem and the only way to solve it is murder. It's not even like a millionaire going, my husband or my wife wants to take all my money, or this person's having an affair and I'm jealous, or none of that shit. This is just, I don't think I like the way I don't get to spend as much time with the boy.
Right.
Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
It's not even your kid.
Not even your kid. That's the thing. It's not like he's a father and then a stepfather came in and he feels like he's here, and it's not your kid.
Right.
It's your fucking
zero attachment.
No, it's your nephew.
You should just be thrilled for him.
That you get any time at all.
You should be jacked for your nephew, that you don't have to be burdened.
When you can, pick him up.
It's technically a burden.
When you can, pick him up, take him to play some wiffle ball. That's all.
Go be the
Shut
best
the fuck up
uncle ever.
otherwise. Yeah. Otherwise, shut up about it. You have no say in it. So Peggy said that, Peggy ends up being the star witness here. Mm-hmm. And also, she said that they were considering moving back to Arizona and hoped at this point that this is fucking crazy. This is what she says. Okay. She wanted to punish him for his mistreatment of Brian.
Sure.
Which didn't exist. Whatever. And also they perceived to be Rodney's role in, quote, withdrawing Brian from their society. I don't know what that's, just from their circle. She also said that they were considering, the Stevenses wanted to move to Arizona and were hoping that Cora would let them take Brian with them to move to Arizona, because Cora, quote, didn't really care if she had him around. It's her son, and she did care if she had him around. Yeah. But she was saying that they thought there was more of a chance that Cora would let them take the boy to Arizona if Rodney was dead. Wow. Because then she'd be so like, I don't care anymore, or whatever. So that's how it worked here. And then she also says that Tony Hill said this is the way Grandma wanted it. Well, during the murder, which is...
It kind of is a society, though, with that many people living in that small of a building. That's kind of a society.
Oh, it's a society. Yeah, it's a society.
7 people in one house is a society.
Yeah, it's a real shitty one, but it's a society. It's a...
Oh, my God.
That's a sad anthill right there.
How do you get to those thoughts of I want to move out of this state, and I'm going to take my nephew like he's my own?
And like you should be able to take him.
Right.
Like, if I can't, I'll be mad.
Right.
Not, wouldn't it be amazing if you could? If I can't, I will fucking kill people. Wow. That is interesting here. Now,
what a lifestyle.
It's goddamn nuts. So, basically everyone is, Peggy is saying that her mom was the kind of the last push of the whole thing. She was the one who kind of, would go on. They said that they all these phone records of other people talking, and they said that most of the time when they were talking on the phone, they were just talking about how much they hated Rodney and how much they wanted something bad to happen to Rodney. It's fucked up here. So Cora, how does she feel? Yeah. Her boyfriend's dead. Her sister is admitting that her and her husband definitely did it, and probably Anna also.
Oh, boy.
So if you're Cora, you don't know who the hell to believe and who to whatever.
Then you're a single mother of 2.
I mean, the house is quiet. That's good.
Yeah.
This is great. It's the most quiet. Anna's sitting there with like cucumbers over her eyes and a box of wine, just sitting there fucking watching the Gilmore Girls going, this is better. This is really better. I like this much better. Yes, this is fantastic. Just got out of the bath.
Hell yeah.
Just lotion and candles and shit. She's like, oh, I don't know.
Kids fanning her with like empty microwave popcorn bags.
Meanwhile, she was the mastermind behind all of it.
They'll never get me.
They'll never catch me. I'll get rid of my mother, my sister, my brother-in-law, and that pesky boyfriend all in one swoop.
All of that because I want a nice Sunday afternoon
That's right.
nap.
Just once. Just once. I just want to sit here.
Listen, I can't afford this house at next month,
Jesus
so I'm
Christ.
just getting the nap today.
They keep putting new shit on Netflix. I want to watch it. No, she says that obviously the press talked to her, and she was taken aback. Cora says, quote, Mom denied having anything to do with the killing, with killing Rodney, but Peggy didn't say one way or another. I loved Rodney. I don't know why they would do this to me. I know my brother-in-law and sister were involved. I figured they were from the beginning. Just a feeling I had, you know. Why would my mom have done this? She didn't want me to take the kids away from her, away from the mother too, because they were going to move out. So all these people are have ownership over this child that doesn't belong to them.
Both children.
It's fucking weird. Yeah. So they're, obviously they have the house to ourselves. Then Cora says, quote, Mama has called a couple of times. She just asks about the house. We never talk about Rod or the case. It's hard when she calls. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Peggy, I haven't seen her talk to her. Me and her, we grew up like twins. We used to sleep in the same room and share the same clothes back and forth. We were that close together, but that's changed now. Since she plotted and conspired to murder my boyfriend, it's, I don't know what it is. I can't trust her the same way.
Or maybe she's just saying, she wears jumpsuits and I don't anymore.
Yeah, I can't borrow her clothes. They're kind of lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
They don't match shit.
No, so, Mary also said, I'm sorry, Cora said about Mary, Rod's mother,
right.
Quote, I knew my brother-in-law and Rod didn't like each other, but I didn't know it went that far, obviously. Now, in this, I found this in the newspaper, and this is really just for you, Jimmy. This is not for the people at home, but I found this ad for a hospital in the newspaper.
Yeah.
I'll describe it for you. It's Harper Hospital here, and it's at the top of it. Just look.
Uh-oh.
Look at the picture.
Yeah.
Okay. You can see the picture here. There we go. Mm-hmm. The picture here, it says, don't worry at the top.
Yeah.
Mommy's coming home soon.
Yeah.
And it's a picture of the saddest looking man holding two children whose whole family has just been wiped out in a genocide. Like, these kids, their mother's not coming home soon at all.
She's not coming home.
So my question is, are they only saying this to push it off on the kids like mommy's dead? And they're telling the kids, don't worry, she'll be home soon. Or is these people just not as joyous as they should be?
And that's an advertisement?
That's an advertisement for a hospital. Come here so your kids can look like that. Worried as fuck about you.
In your time of need, when a father is like, I can't take care of either of you two, mommy will be home soon, and he'll be telling them the truth.
Look at this,
because we will work our balls off to make sure that this is true. That is
it's disturbing. Look at that man.
So sad.
He looks so
That's
sad.
A real picture, isn't it?
Oh yeah, his kids look sad as shit.
Oh my god.
And
they snapped that shit in the waiting room, and we're like, we're using you in our ad.
How you feeling right now? Sad? You miss your mom? Click. Really? Oh, man, is it tough? What's your mom have? Cancer? Click, click. Let's go. I'm so sorry about that. Jeez, what is stage 4? Click, 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 click. That's terrible. We're very sorry. Hey, could you look down just over here? Hey, look. Anyway, so click, 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 click. We're wondering. She's going to be okay?
When's your birthday? When's her birthday?
Man.
Are you looking forward to your first Christmas without her? Jesus.
Cora said she knew her sister was involved, but she couldn't prove it, obviously. Now she says, though, she never suspected her mother. She says, I don't know what to do now. I have to see what happens. She's just like, who the fuck knows? Now, so they charge Anna, and Peggy is going to get immunity. Harold, they go to charge Snake. His charges have been delayed because of a report saying that he is mentally incapable of assisting in his defense. So he's not going to be
claiming that.
He's claiming he's mentally unfit, and a court report backs him up.
Wow.
So his whole thing is delayed. So Snake is just fucking lounging right now. He is not charged with murder at first here. So, then at the trial, they find a couple other things. They find two women named Rhonda Howlett and Catherine Wright, and they're cellmates of Anna Bouchard.
What do they say?
They said that, first of all, the judge said they don't, right away, this is funny, in the trial, the judge said that they, quote, I'm troubled about the practice of putting a person like Anna Bouchard, who had no prior involvement with the law, in a cell with such persons. Not infrequently, by the time of trial, a cellmate comes forward with a testimony favorable to the prosecution. So they're saying, I don't like someone who's not a hardened criminal being put in a cell with hardened criminals. Yeah. That's jail. Right. What are you supposed to do?
I mean, at some point,
Yeah.
You've committed a crime. You're about to be a hardened criminal.
I do hate the cellmate confessions, though, because they do suck, because there's no way to know if it's true. No. There's just no fucking way to know.
And you know
who knows?
There is something you will say that may not even be true just to survive in prison.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're taught, is that these people will fucking murder you. And if you don't act badder than them, worse than them, is it badder? It's badder, right?
Badder, yeah.
Better, harder? I don't know. If you don't act as crazy as they do, they'll fuck with you. You'll be a victim in prison.
Well, that's the other thing of also, even if you did do it, you're more likely just in that space. You feel private, so you might feel like you could tell this person, and also you're in a cell with a person who might be a con artist, trying to get information out of you that they can use against you. So it's literally
a catch-22 all the way around. Double-edged sword. Right? Is that what that is?
Yeah, sure.
I think so. I don't know. I'm trying to use metaphors.
Jimmy's finding idioms and metaphors and fucking. Just gonna throw a simile in there.
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right?
That's right. Shit. I mean,
fucked either way.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Right. All right, Dan.
God damn it.
So they provide their testimony here. They say Rhonda's testimony says that statements made by Anna, and she says that Anna admitted everything to her, and she said that Catherine Wright said to her, Anna, you're saying that you're guilty, and she said that she did say that. Anna made statements that she didn't want Cora to leave her home, and that she'd given Peggy some money and wasn't supposed to come in contact with anyone, and she was just in contact with Peggy, and that she didn't talk to the murderer or anything like that. She said, quote, the way they planned it was supposed to have happened on a Wednesday, but Anna said that it happened on a Thursday, which is what happened here. So they go all into the whole plan here, and I guess Anna was using a lot of we and all this sort of shit. We did this and we did that.
Oh, Anna.
Yeah. Now Anna says that she was, being held in jail, and she said that she said her cellmates had newspaper accounts of the murder and had talked about what they read, and so that's how they knew stuff. Basically, they were, had just talked to her about the case, but she didn't admit to anything. According to one of the cellmates, Anna said that she, that she was supposed to. Basically, I'll put this into this. They said that, I'm sorry, never mind. There was a thing about the shooting, but it wasn't, she was like a metaphor she was using that wasn't really a metaphor. It's just fucking confusing. Yeah, it's just, if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Don't worry about it. Double-edged swords?
It's a double-edged sword, yeah. That's exactly where I was going with that. Like, it's one of those catch-22s. Right. So... yeah, so most of it was basically they got these two women in here to come out and say that Anna said that she was guilty. They were literally said that they said to her, "You're saying you're guilty, right?" And she said yes. So
so she said she confessed in prison.
Yeah. Now Anna Bouchard admits that she gave Peggy Stevens $100 and $100, and Bouchard, Anna also said that she didn't give it to Peggy to get anybody killed. She gave it gave the son to Harold, so Harold would fix her car. So this was payment for some auto work that he was doing for her. There wasn't a murder thing here. Harold's a backyard mechanic who kept, who usually was fixing people's cars for a price here or there. Old Snake.
Yeah.
Snake can fix anything here.
Snakes loves cars.
Yeah, Snakes loves cars. Now, Larry Bouchard, the brother, Cora and Peggy's brother, he says that he borrowed that his mother borrowed $396 from him.
Yeah.
When some money orders were lost so that the house payment could be made, and that when the lost money orders were recovered, he kept $300 and allowed his mother to have $96 so she could have her car repaired. And Anna said that she added $5 and put $1 back in her purse and then gave the $100 to Peggy Stevens and said, "You have that, boy, fix my car."
There is so little cash circulating around this entire
family. They know
family.
what they did with $1.
$1.
They literally I took that other $1 and I put it in my purse. Yeah, this is Wow.
They can account for every dollar they've ever seen.
Everything. Everything. Jesus Christ. Now, Anna's lawyer, let's not even give his name. Let's not confuse with more names. He said there's no evidence that his client discussed, entertained, or took part in a homicide. Bullshit. Hill's lawyer, the actual trigger man, he said that his client is, quote, flat out not guilty. It's a circumstantial case and we have a rational explanation for everything that occurred here. Right. Obviously. He says, as a matter of fact, the night that this happened, Thursday, October 3rd, Hill wasn't even out. He wasn't at a bar. He wasn't out in a dirt road shooting everybody. He was home. You know what he was doing at home? You know what he was doing? Watching The Cosby Show, as a matter of fact.
Guilty.
He's watching The Cosby Show. If they only knew at the time, the judge would have been, where's my gavel? Jesus Christ. And I looked it up. There was a Cosby Show on that night. A new one called The Juicer was the name of it. Cliff warns Rudy not to play with his new juicer, but the machine's fancy gadgetry eventually proves to be too much of a temptation for Rudy and her friend Peter. That's a little fat kid, I think.
How perfect is this? Tell me more about this juicer.
Cliff finds out and suspects that Rudy is responsible. Yeah. After Claire prods Rudy's conscience, she admits the truth and is allowed to and is assigned to help Vanessa, punished for not keeping an eye on Rudy as she's been told to clean the resulting mess. So he was watching that. He wasn't murdering people. You can't get any more different.
Little Rudy destroy the kitchen.
Watch Rudy trying to juice something. What's more innocent than that? Jesus Christ, man.
She probably sent.
You kidding me?
Sent orange juice all over the kitchen.
Yeah, and they said that the $100 given back and forth between them and the motorcycle, that was nothing more than friends getting together, repaying debts. That's all. They just, I borrowed something here from you. You borrow. I've known this guy since high school. What are you kidding me? Yeah. Jesus Christ. They said it's built on fantastic motives, is what the defense is saying. When you look at it from this logical point of view, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Just because someone killed someone for a stupid reason doesn't mean they didn't do it.
Right.
That's the thing that police always say is motive's nice. Motive's is nice to tell the jury. The jury wants to have a why. Right. But legally, motive doesn't mean shit.
Why doesn't matter to anything.
Why doesn't matter. They want to know who and where. Right. They don't give a fuck about why.
Why doesn't change the penalty and the fucking you get years and there's a set amount. Yeah. And it's not. Why doesn't change?
Doesn't
that?
matter. They say it. They talk about it in the homicide book. They talk about where one of the cops goes, motive doesn't matter. He goes, why Tater shot Pee Wee in the 400 block of Gold Avenue? It doesn't fucking matter to me. That doesn't matter. I just know he did it. Right. That's all. Who cares why? What's the difference? That's nice for a story and for a jury, but I mean, in legal, really, it doesn't matter. So now Peggy is cross-examined about a theft of a trailer by Hill's lawyer, because Peggy Stevens and Hill are being tried together. Oh, by the way, they have tied them together. Hill, Stevens, and Bouchard are all in the one big mass together. So their lawyers are like cross-examining each other and they're blaming each other. Well,
wow.
So yeah, it's a mess. So Peggy Stevens is cross-examined. She ends up having to admit that Hill and Snake stole a trailer from B&L Campers during that time period, and that she said she was home at that time. The trailer was brought to Snake and Peggy's home, and Peggy denied any knowledge of conversations of money or anything like that. But Hill is trying to say that the $100 in the motorcycle were for help stealing the trailer, not for a murder.
So when you say trailer, like a fucking flatbed trailer?
Who
drag it by
the shit fucking knows with these people?
Yeah.
It could have been anything, Jimmy. It could have been a piece of wood with one wheel on it that they just dragged behind the thing. Like, I stole me a trailer.
Right.
With this cabal of shit, anything is possible, bro. I've had it with this. This is crazy. Oh my God. So, well, why? Well, you know what I mean? Jesus Christ. So, they go on. They talk about telephone calls. Hill says that telephone calls made from his home to the Bouchard home, and to his home from Oswald's home in Bay City. He said that he didn't know who he talked to, but it was a woman's voice, and he thinks it was Anna. So they're trying to put Anna in there. They also said he denies that he ever told the Stevens that he killed Rod, and suggested the reason Peggy said he did was that, quote, maybe they're mad because I pressured them for the money, which is the helping steal the trailer. That's what they're mad about. So they're going to frame him for murder, which would make as much sense as murdering a man for trying to take care of his stepson.
Right.
It's about the same. It's silly, but I don't know. He was home watching the Cosby Show, so it doesn't matter here. Also, in summation here, the Hills attorney called Peggy Stevens, said that she, quote, had ice in her veins and that she was a cold-blooded killer. And the bottom line is that the Stevens are up to here in this case, and they're doing their best to get out of it. That's how they do this. They call Snake an admitted murderer who's as free as a goose because of his mental thing right now. So the verdict comes in guilty for all of these idiots. All three of these idiots. Now, that comes in the sentencing. When that comes up, the judge has something to say about this. He says, this is Judge Simons, he says that in all his years as a judge, he'd never seen such a senseless killing. He said that that other murder cases that he's handled had been, quote, understandable motives of greed, money, or jealousy, but that this was just a cold, calculated killing. You, sir, and ma'ams, all of you, may fuck off. Life sentence. All of them. Everybody. Yes. Now, in addition to that, they get life sentence. Also, Anna she receives a second sentence of 30 to 60 years for conspiracy.
Oh, shit.
And Hill gets 40 to 60 years for conspiracy as well. So, yes. So it's a life sentence for both and then a little extra on top of that.
And Peggy gets a life.
Peggy gets immunity.
Oh, she got immunity.
Peggy didn't get shit. Peggy's got immunity from all prosecution.
This is awesome.
Yeah, Peggy gets free as a bird.
Okay,
she's floating.
Yeah, free as a goose.
Yeah, it's really two of them.
Yeah.
September, nice, free as a snake. Actually, September '86. The snake must have. It's weird. He's sane now. Super strange.
Yeah.
One day he's insane. Next day, fucking sane. Totally sane. September '86, they take Snake to trial here, and Peggy has to. They only have Peggy's statements that they made to police, but they can't get Peggy to testify against him, obviously. But it's better because in this trial they had found the shotgun by now, which was not evident at the previous trial.
They didn't have the murder weapon.
They didn't have the murder weapon. Now they have the murder weapon, and apparently it's hard to find get ballistics off a shotgun,
right?
Because it's a different thing. But this particular shotgun, which a Charlotte man said he loaned to Tony Hill, that's how this whole thing happened. That's why it wasn't around, because it wasn't his gun. He gave it back to the guy and then got it back. Was fired so close to Rodney that a peculiar plastic wadding was found in the chest wound. It was so close, and they said that they were able to match marks on the wadding with the jagged end of the gun barrel where it had been sawed off.
Wow!
So that's how they figured out that it was from that gun. It was
what a dipshit!
They basically made their own ballistics with this gun.
He would have never known that would happen.
Random shotgun. Nope, had no idea that he made his own ballistics. So that's what ends up happening. This is amazing. The guy whose gun it was, there's a state sergeant here with the police department, Millard Holton, and he's the guy who is able to match the marks on everything with the gun barrel where it had been sawed off and all that sort of thing. The problem is he almost wasn't able to testify, this Holton, because this is the weirdest reason ever. He was seriously injured when a cider press tipped over on him.
Thank God I've never been around one of those.
A cider press.
They sound dangerous as shit.
Just tipped over on him. Whoops. So apparently he wasn't able to testify, so another officer had to repeat his tests and then go testify to the results. But he couldn't testify.
That's amazing.
How great is that? So finally, the trial of Snake here. He, after 2.5 hours, the jury deliberates for. He's found guilty of everything here, of conspiracy to commit murder and murder in the first degree and everything else. Now everybody else has life sentences, but they're going to appeal those, by the way. God, I can't believe Peggy has complete immunity there.
That's fucking wild, man.
Yeah, this is.
It was partly her idea. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. Oh, she was all involved. She was as involved as anybody. She was just the first person to say she'd flip. That's all it was.
I can help you solve this.
Sammy the Bull. He was just the first guy to talk.
Yep.
So the chief prosecutor here said, without persistent efforts, we wouldn't have solved this case. It was a tough one with angles going all the way from Barry County to Bay City to Indiana and Florida. The fact that most of the people involved here were in the same family didn't make it any easier. And that's what the thing was, because that's not what they expected at first, because you would expect a major beef. Yeah. You'd say, oh, they had, a property dispute over a big, something like that.
That's been going on for a long time.
An inheritance dispute.
Somebody shit in somebody's pillowcase.
They said something for a lot of money. People
Hatfields and McCoys under one roof.
People kill for a lot of money. They kill for an old beef. They kill for property. They don't kill for, I think I want to spend more time with that kid. That's not why people kill if it's not their kid. Like, it's super fucking weird to do.
That is unbelievable.
So, May of 1988, Anne is appealing. Yeah. Anne is going to appeal her shit. Life? No, she does not. She does not get life. And basically, the appellate court rules that a judge in her case made an error inconsistent with substantial justice when he refused to allow the jury to hear some testimony for a second time. Yeah. Apparently, this was testimony, statements made by Peggy Stevens, who revealed the whole plot and everything like that. She was granted immunity, blah, blah, blah. The 2 jail informants also implicated her. Now, the appeals court said that the judge declined an initial jury request to have Stevens' testimony reread. And the next day, the judge said further testimony would not be available. So the jurors asked to have testimony read back to them, which happens all the time. They ask, can I have that again? Can we have this?
And he said no.
And they said no, which is weird. Yeah. Usually whatever you need, they give them. And if it helps them make a decision here. But apparently this is decided on by an appeals court and said that is not legal to do that. It's it actually caused an error in the case, and they end up throwing out her sentence.
They vacate it.
They vacate the whole deal. Basically, if they want her, they got to retry Anna. Okay. They throw her whole thing out. So they go, sure, let's retry her. Let's do it. Fucking yesterday.
We got enough evidence.
Yeah. So in this case, basically, she could be found not guilty and go home. Yeah. She could be found guilty and get a lesser sentence. Right. She can be found guilty and get a worse sentence. You never know.
Do we got Peggy involved still?
So Peggy's got immunity. Yeah. Yeah. They have all of her testimony in here. Now this is her, her trial here. Basically, she's still professing her complete innocence. Everything like that. And also, her daughter has to testify again. Right. And anything that she doesn't say, they have her her testimony, her recorded or transcripts of the other ones. So now after the original trial, like we said, she got life and then 30 to 60. Here they find her guilty again. That's 2 times now. Yeah. This is both first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. And for that, she receives, you, ma'am, may fuck off 2 life sentences rather than 1 30 to 60. So she got extra time.
Oh, my God.
They gave
you
her.
You want to go for another?
They got her. I got her extra time. They gave her the old. They got 2 months. I got you for 2 months. They gave her the old Breakfast Club. You want another Saturday detention? Stacking them up. Sure. You want to talk about
another trial?
Come on. Let's see what else we could do.
3 life sentences.
I think they reinstated the death penalty last year. Maybe we should give her another fucking run. What do you say, Anna?
Huh? Yes.
You feeling fucking lucky? You feeling lucky? So now she's sitting in there.
Sentences.
Yeah, Harold is in there for life. So we have life, and life. 3 lifers. Cora, gone. Doesn't have her boyfriend. Rodney's dead. Peggy Stevens free as a fucking bird. Yeah. What do you think the relationship is like?
Oh boy,
between Cora and Peggy.
Oh my God.
Because this happened in 1985. Yeah. So a lot of time has gone by.
Oh, she could have.
Sisters are weird.
She could have gone and made up with her just based on the fact that she had some sort of guilty conscience and just told on everybody. Or I don't know, do you run with the you only are here and out of jail because you're a piece of shit and you couldn't do the time?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of person Cora is. I don't know how strong, because there's some people who'll be like, fuck her, I'll never talk to her again. There's some people who'll be like, it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Christmas is coming up. I'd like to give my kids another gift.
She made mistakes, and I don't really have, my mom's in prison. I don't really have a lot of family left.
I don't know. My sister never murdered anybody in my family, and I don't talk to her.
That's what I mean. There's plenty of family members I don't talk to, and they never killed anybody in my family. So I might write people off quicker than most, but not this would be too friendly if you're okay with this type of shit. Can you fucking imagine?
No.
What do you say to somebody like at Christmas for that? Hi. Oh, man. Anytime there's like a picture. Oh, remember when we were kids when Mom and did this?
When you tried to...
That'd be
you
great.
did?
Yeah, it was so much fun. I wish Mom was here.
Yeah.
Too bad you conspired with her to kill my boyfriend. That sucks. That really sucks. Because, her stuffing was the best.
She's put sausage in it. So good. You're an asshole. Merry Christmas, fuck weasel.
By the way, stuffing is the thing that people make the most different of anything. Everyone makes it so different, and nobody's stuffing's any good. It's all shit. It's all a pile of shit. It's all shit.
I don't know. I like it. It's my favorite part of it.
I want it to be good. I eat it every time. I'll put a pile on my plate, take a bite, and I'm like, nope, that's gross. I want it to be good. It's never good. It looks good. The theory of it sounds good, and then I go to eat it and it tastes like fucking dog shit.
I gotta have it with
always like too many onions, or some dickhead put a raisin in it or something. What the fuck are you people doing?
Grapes. Who's got grapes in the fucking stuffing?
Just put some fucking stovetop in it, and I'm happy. I don't care. Just don't put weird shit in it.
I have to eat the Pepperidge Farm, like the squares that you actually make with broth and all that shit. You got to actually do it by yourself. I can't eat stovetop because I threw it up once, and you did some things you won't eat again.
Well, that's got the most distinctive flavor in the world, so I can see that.
When it comes back, way worse.
Yeah, I could imagine.
And that's all it is now to me.
Yeah, we've all thrown up stovetop, Jimmy. I think you just need to.
The cornbread kind?
Everyone has, yeah. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And then people stuff it inside a turkey and they get, fucking diseases in there.
I was 24 and an asshole that lived alone and couldn't.
Did you just make a meal of stuffing?
I did.
Yeah, I've done that.
And I had the flu at the time, and I was just like, this will be good for me. And it's got chicken broth in it.
It's going to soak it up, too. It's going to soak it, too.
And it didn't.
No.
It made it worse.
You'd have been better off with Dinty more, I feel like.
Probably.
You could have just Dintied your more, and you'd have been fucking much better off, bro.
Jimmy's hates stovetops.
Oh, Jimmy's hates stovetops.
I can't eat it.
Jesus Christ.
It's the worst, man.
Made fucking pasta. What's wrong with you?
Now that's what I do. I eat pasta and rice when I don't have a lot of time.
It's easy.
I'm like, fuck it. This will boil
it's
and
quick.
it'll
It's
be
like
fine.
$1. You can't beat it.
It's water and that.
A whole meal for $1.19. Yay. I win.
They have these egg noodles at the grocery store that are like they're like how you make fucking pasta. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I can just sit on the couch and just
egg noodles.
It's an egg noodle. But
is it an egg?
What do you mean?
Are you calling it an egg noodle, or does it say egg noodles?
It says egg noodles on it. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. The yellow ones.
Yeah, they're yellowish.
Yeah.
It's a different egg noodle, man. I'm telling you. If I made it, you'd be like, it's okay. It's not my homemade shit, but it's serviceable.
Okay.
And that's what I eat. I'll just throw fucking butter and Parmesan on it and sit on my couch
you could do that,
like a monster.
A little hot pepper
like
in
a
there.
like a fucking 7-year-old.
That's good shit. Yeah, like a 7-year-old
that can't eat pasta like an adult.
Sauce.
Right.
Hurts their mouth. His stomach gets upset.
Hurt. Right.
Oh, it's got pepper in it.
It's got pepper and meat.
Oh, you little pricks. So anyway, that said, that is Nashville, Michigan,
what a story.
And the Bouchard family and a bunch of craziness, and some guy that really didn't have to die get killed for no fucking reason.
No reason.
That's small town murder.
He defended the country as a very skinny man.
Yeah, he defended the country in the early 80s
for no reason.
From nothing, let's be honest.
For
it's the
no
early
reason
80s,
he's
but
murdered.
Still, he signed up and he did it, and now he's dead. That's fucked up.
Right.
He's not killed by Russians, but killed by some dipshit in a country road on the side.
A terrorist of one way or another. I mean, they fucking ruined him.
So if you like that show, I know how you can tell us about it. You can get on Apple Podcasts, the purple icon, or head over to Stitcher, either one. Give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. Say you're following instructions. Say you're following directions. Doesn't matter. It's not for our ego. No. It's literally just to drive us up the charts and help us on the business end. So if you want to do that, it's a favor. It's a little solid. Right. So do us a solid and do that. If you want to be an even bigger hero and do us a bigger favor and become one of our producers, who we're going to talk about very, very soon, you can do that very easily by going to patreon.com/CrimeInSports, or head over to PayPal and use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com, and make a one-time donation like that. And we just can't thank you guys enough for doing that. And we're going to definitely do another bonus episode next week. We're going to try to do them every other week, and we're going to try to squeeze some extra bonus shit in here and there. We just want to make it so there's always some extra bonus stuff going on, so we can kind of just stay in our orbit. Hang out with us. We'll keep you doing that, or hopefully will. So, do that. I know the bonus episodes are for the $5 and above. And I know if you sign up, you get all the old back ones, too, because people were asking us about that. Do I only get the new ones? You get everything if you sign up. So you can do that. Sign up and come hang out with us. Also, follow us on social media at Murder Small on Twitter, at Smalltown Pod on Facebook, and at Smalltown Murder on Instagram. And that's where you can get all of the newest and new stuff that comes up. We get a new show, a new live show. We're going to tell you on there before you're going to hear it on the actual podcast. The live show, we might as well just say it now. The date's not going anywhere. The live show, they're not for sale yet, but the live show we just found out is going to be October 2nd in Phoenix. That is going to be the same night. There'll be a crime and sports and small town murder. Same night at the Tempe Improv. Early show, late show. So that's how we're going to do that. I'm not sure which show is early and which show is late, but
I don't know either.
I don't know which one would be better, but buy tickets for both, because both shows will be crazy. And especially if you're a small town murder listener, you don't like crime and sport, you don't know much about crime and sports, that'll be the time to check it out. Check it out. The comedy show, it's going to be a crazy comedy show. You're going to laugh your ass off, and I bet you we can win you over to crime and sports if you can see that live, because it is just absolutely nuts live.
So fun.
It's the most fun live. It's and not that small town murder isn't insanely fun live, but there's just something about crime and sports that is just, I don't know what it is. I think it's because the people's lives are so photographed and so documented that you see so much shit.
You
visually.
Really get a picture of what they did and why, and actually you don't really ever know why.
No one knows why. Brain damage is the only thing that we can sum it up to, but that said, do that. Follow us on social media. Find us everywhere. Be our pals and all that sort of thing here. And some of these people who have done that are fucking amazing. We can't thank them enough, and we're going to shout them out. And the producers also just want to head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your needs and all of your crime and sports and your small town murder needs, but especially for all of your live show tickets here. Just to run down a few if you're interested, because some of them are getting sold out. That second Portland show is now sold out.
Right.
So both those shows on June 6th and 7th at the Aladdin are sold out in Portland now. Sorry about that, everybody. Seattle, there's a few tickets left that they're like our comps that they need to release.
Right.
So that's everything sold out except what they give to us, which we don't need because we don't know.
We'll let those go.
We don't have family in Seattle. So we're going to let those go. So there'll be some new tickets released for Seattle very soon. A few of those. San Francisco, the 13th and 14th of March. 2 late shows at Cobb's. That's going to be a lot of fun. Late shows with Small Town Murder. March 27th and 28th in Detroit and in Cincinnati. April 7th and 8th in Nashville for Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder, of course. May, we're going to be in Austin and Oklahoma City on the 8th and 9th. Come check us out there. We're braving Tornado Alley also, so come check us out here. May 22nd, we're in Boston. That thing, there's a few singles left in the balcony at the Wilbur up there, but you guys are amazing.
Thank you so much.
And then May 23rd in Boston, those are in New York at the Murmur in Brooklyn. Those are selling pretty fast too, so you want to get on those. And a couple of them that just like Minneapolis, Chicago, those are selling really fast in December.
So wild.
There is Minneapolis is over 60% sold out,
crazy. And
it's in December. So get your tickets to that. Or also all your Florida people, Tampa and Orlando and California, San Diego and Brea and San Jose.
Right.
Yes, because that's the one that's not sold out.
No.
Sacramento sold out. Right. Get all your tickets there, everybody. Thank you guys so much for everybody that has. We can't wait to come see you guys out there and have a good show for everyone. That said, I think I need to hear something heartwarming.
Right.
Warm my heart with the list of people who are my favorite list of people I would never lure out to a rural road and shoot with a sawed-off shotgun. Hit me with them, Jimmy.
This week's executive producers are Chris Hassan, Clay Thorson, all the guys over there at the BFG plant in Indiana. They came to the show in Indy. Thank you guys so much. Guys. We really appreciate you. Ryan James, Nicole Marino Peters. Also, we have, what is that? Is that Ian? Yes. Ian Wilkinson, Tanya Volanek, Robin Brown Gallahan? Yeah. Yes. Ryan Dempsey and Jordan Bennett. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much
for everything you do. We can't do it without you.
We appreciate it so
other
much.
producers this week are Ted Glossemeyer, Taylor Shipley. Brace it. Step in and get comfortable because this is going to be a long one. Jennifer Ross, Ishmael Guerrero, Robin Bevan, yes, Rhonda Herr, Adina Hampton, Cheyenne with no last name, Eric Vasquez, David Adelson, no, Dawn. Sorry, Dawn. Jesus, that's Dawn Adelson.
Even the same amount of letters.
I know. The W kind of looks like a V. I don't know.
Okay.
Marissa Saluri, Lucinda Powell, Dan Seward, Rick Bryant, Brandy Winner. Yeah, it is Winner. J Poole. Okay, here we go. Victoria Griffith, Aaron Temple, Vincent Nassef.
Tries to get himself on a roll. Here we go.
Psyching myself out. You ready? Chris Tucker.
Now I can read.
Chris Tucker's daughter, Lisa Tucker. That's who that is. Brad Severe Mata. Scissor Mata. No, it's not right. No. Vincent Nassef, I said that. Jen Visconti, Tyler Forrester, Ray Sanders, John Myers, Matthew Walk, Mariella Renquist, Jessica with no last name, Molly Block, Stephanie Sherman, Tracy Ainsworth, Brooke Kale, Big Boy Trivia, it's a podcast. Okay. That's what that is. Lisa Bell, Chantel Meacham, Max Daniels, Sam Hart, welcome.
Welcome, Sam Hart.
Sam Hart, welcome, dickhead. That's what I was supposed to say from his brother.
Thank you.
His other, whoever the other Hart
welcome,
is.
dickhead.
Artney with no last name. Kim Coos, Shola Agora, Diana McGuire. Okay, Lucinda Lynch Powell, Sarah Jones, Forrest Shoemaker. No. Schomburger. Schomlieber. That's what that is. That's Shoemaker, right?
Sure, same thing.
Ann Scott, Margaret Pelson. I think that's right. Caitlin Flack, Brian Johnson, Peregrine Ruscorla. Mullen 11. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
That's a thing, though. Jeff Hawkins. No, Hankins. No, that's Hawkins. Ryan Pearson, Lily Williams, Jennifer Hughes, Chris Bartoli. Yeah, Christopher Bartoli.
Oh.
Bartoli.
Yeah.
It's Bartolini.
Jesus.
God damn it. Sarah, he even told me to have you pronounce it because it's Italian. Sarah, but I chose not to, and I chose the wrong path. Sarah Patton, Josh Hennick, Adam with no last name, Jennifer Bateman. That's what that is. Scott Bledsoe, Gustavo Cheese Toe, Special Teams, Jason Dingers. Yep, Dingus. That's what that is.
Okay.
Colleen Ingham, Natasha Hargrove, Sandy McMillan, Vicky Hayward, Scott Frazier, Amara McHale, Karen Rice, Carrie Walney, I think, Margaret Gary, some schmuck, William with no last name, Brian Manelli, Nikki Slade, Megan Barr, Reginald Matthews, Sam Beasley, Ryan Cody, Matt Ava, Shelby Baugh, Byron Bell, James Templeton, backside of this thing, Brittany Boltman, Rodney Johnson. That is two dick names. That's what that is. Jen Riles, Keith Cerny, Ashley Carson, Matt Zick. That's what that is. Karen Edwards, Shanna Bell, Russ Warnes, or Ross. I think it's Russ. No, it's probably Ross. Michael Reba, Amy Burkhart.
Why is it more likely Ross than Russ?
Because it looks more like an O.
Oh, okay. It's based on your writing.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's probably Russ. Rachel Taylor, Blake Glon, Hannah Weeks, Sandy L., Keaton with no last name, Katie Weiss, Kyle Bailey, I think I said that, Jane Woods, Alicia LaFrance, Emily Thibault, Jane Woods, I said that, damn it, David Ranley, Lauren Reed, Kara James, Taylor with no last name, Jill Knapp, Chris Bartolini, I told you that, I got it, Emma Smith, Jordan Baca, Andrew Bailey, Cole Calvin, Chris Crow, Megan Good, and congratulations.
Hey, congrats, Megan.
Mary Wedding? I don't know what I'm saying. Devin with no last name. Deanna Grimes, Drew Mixon, Chris Tyner, Kimber Huven. Deanna Grimes, Linda Boardman, Shelby Montesani. Chris Tyner, Donna Easley, Natasha Wilcox, Chris Miller, Megan Morrill, Becca Penderzani, Krista Downs, Chris Miller, Lindsay Greth, Alexander Green, Lauren Kellen, I think it's Kellen, Sanji Habagizand. No, maybe. Sanjay.
Okay.
Habagazand.
Yeah, Habagazand.
Right.
Yeah, I know him.
Frank Gant, Melody Crenshaw, Katie Ball, and home stretch. God damn it. Here we go. Rocket. Jesse Hartman, Melissa Turner, Bailey Payton, Brianna Poland, James Martyr, Reagan Shockley, Peyton Meadows, Liz Vasquez, Cameron Leopold, Total Axe in Michigan. Thank you, by the way. I threw axes this past weekend, and they saw me on Instagram throwing axes, and they called the axe place and sent me waters because they didn't send beers. So that was very nice. Thank you. Bethany Lampke. God damn it. Josh Jessup, Gary Howard. Thanks, Gary. Hey. Lauren Wallace, Tracy Renninger, Jackie Sukup, TJ Max, who Mac. God damn it.
Max.
I know her, and I said Max.
TJ.
I just found out her real name.
I know. I did too.
Fascinating. Lisa Ward, Trey Volkanar, Amanda Knight, Ted Cyrus, Jude Kendall, Michael Jacobs, Brian Riley, Janice Hill, Dove Harper, Cynthia Carmona, Thomas Smith, Steve Schnell, James LaRussa, Tyler Gwill, Blair Bodner, Sierra Stratton, Emmy Dumont, Marla Happany, Lorenzo Gutierrez, Robert Steyer, James Graben, or Craig, that's Graben, Craig Cole, Gianna DeLuca, Susanna Platt, Brendan Abels, Bill Szynski, that's Angela Serrano. I was on a roll. Kelly Higbee and Ashley Vio and Dustin De Maria. Dove wants to marry you, so look at her.
Hey,
yes or no, fucker?
Yeah, pick a fucking answer here.
We're waiting. Let us know how it works out. Congratulations.
Tell us about your romantic fucking fairy tale.
Sorry if he said no.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much, especially all of our Patreon supporters. And then also thanks to, we got a letter, and he's the sweetest dude. Kevin Bleem. His brother is serving in the military, and they talk about the show.
Oh, cool.
They fucking call each other and talk about this shit. So thank you, guys. Thank you for your service. Thanks for your donation and your meats. You sent us the meats, and we appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for doing what you do.
Thank you so much, everybody, for all that you've done for us and all that you continue to do for us. It means the goddamn world to us, and you really keep us rolling along. I'll tell you that right now. It's everything to us. Thank you so much. Jimmy, what if they wanted to thank you or insult you or really do anything? If they wanted to contact you, how could they do it?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN on Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and that's it, because I got rid of that old goddamn Snapchat. Yeah. It's a pain in the dick, man.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
I have OCD.
If you had to learn it for a year, it's not good.
I've just got OCD with like that little notification of all the messages that I have there, and I try to clear them all out, and then I'd clear them all out, and then it's got 250 more. I'm like, I can't do this.
It's too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
I felt like Jim Carrey in Bruce Almighty, where you fix it all and then it's all gone.
Yeah.
And Sammy T turned 7, and Abby Green from Wesley. Somebody wanted to say hello to you too. So their parents or friends or family messaged me and asked me to mention them, and they are patron donors. So I
thank you very much.
So thank you guys so much for everything. I appreciate it. Where can they find you?
You can find me at Jimmy P is Funny, or just copy and paste my name from the show description and find me that way. It's a lot easier than trying to figure out how to spell it. Trust me. It took me to like the 2nd grade. So,
right.
You know, I could read books, but not spell my last name. That's how it works there. So thank you guys for everything you do for us.
I also couldn't and
following us. Yeah, Jimmy still can't read names. He still haven't figured that one out. Books. We're working on books. Maybe some other time.
Your name so hard.
Oh yeah, you would have been like Petra. Oh God. Pia. Oh no, this is terrible. Jesus Christ. I don't know. But yeah, with all that said, we can't wait to for next week and all these live shows. By the way, next 2 weeks are nuts. We have shows that are bonkers on this show.
Right.
So tune into that and keep coming back, and we will. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you
you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.